My late brother-in-law's girlfriend is trying to steal my husband, so I shut her down.
Don't let her steal it. Be like a goalie. Block it.
That's right. My female 25 husband, male 29, has a very delusional sister-in-law, female 27, who we will call Kelly. Now, Kelly is the girlfriend, and also my dad's name. Fun fact. Kelly is the girlfriend of my husband's late brother. They were not married, but were allowed to be called sister-in-law for the sake of their 4-year-old son. Hence the title half-cooked sister-in-law. Not fully baked just yet.
Oh, man. That is not a great title to have.
By the way, this comes from the user titled Emotional Spirit 493. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So Kelly was actually a nice person at first, but her delusional tendencies just go over the top. She once accused a cousin of my husband's of seducing her because, in her own words, he was madly in love with her. Receipts? Maybe not.
Not starting off strong.
That was never true, as he treated everyone the same way he treated her. My issues with her started when she began targeting my husband and making all kinds of unreasonable requests. She once asked him to sleep in their unit because she said her son was so scared. Interesting. Mind you, they only had one bed and it was on the floor in the middle of a tiny square room, and that was the entire unit. We asked her to just come over to our house, which was bigger and had enough space for her and her child to stay for a while. Since we also had a spare room, she and the child could use it. She refused and insisted that my husband come over to her instead. This is very suspicious. This is very much giving ICU.
I'm seeing it.
I'm seeing it.
What's your ICU?
That maybe I'm misunderstanding the story here. This is the half-baked sister-in-law, right? So there's no actual like blood relation. She's interested in him. Kelly wants husband.
But aren't they related somehow?
Hey, yep. Just
I
through
saw
marriage.
some relation.
Just through marriage,
I could
right?
be wrong.
Okay, non-blood.
Chat, tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Wait, here. Let's catch up.
Yes.
Chat really quick.
Yes. So basically, there is the husband and a sister-in-law, Kelly. So the sister-in-law is not related to the husband, I believe, making sure.
Yep.
She's the girlfriend of my husband's late brother.
Okay.
So they are not related. There's no connection. But husband's bro passed away.
Yep.
So I think she's looking for a man. And she's just like, hey, OP's husband, just come sleep with me in my house every day. Just sleep. My kid is scared. Come here.
Sleep with me
Come here, come
enough, then you'll actually sleep with me enough.
Yes.
You know? If you sleep next to me, you'll want me.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's
Chat,
love by osmosis.
love by osmosis. Hey, if I can't have bro, what's the next best thing? You. Kaylee Pulladan says, very sus. ICU.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So my husband refused and told his mom, who then had Kelly stay at their house for a while. The second incident was when she insisted that my husband go with her and her child to the mall and spend some time together because, according to her, she needed help because she's a helpless single mother with a fatherless child and her child needs a father figure. Fair. He's also this kid's uncle.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
but I
not
guess
crazy.
but I think it's different to say like hang out with my kid rather than sleep at my house.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the
that's
first
a
one
little
is-
bit much.
the
Sleep at
first
my
one-
house is crazy.
Yeah, so maybe now it's like everything after that is like you just keep trying to get time with my man.
Yeah.
Like it could
Also,
be normal.
Ezekiel is like, sorry, we only have one bed and the heat doesn't work. I also forgot my PJs, so we'll have to snuggle skin to skin.
Ezekiel, that is exactly what I think Kelly is trying to do right now. Now, my husband asked if I could go with them, but she made excuses as to why I couldn't. There it is. That's where it gets.
That's a smoking gun.
Yep.
All right, she's definitely trying to move in on your mans.
Now, my husband then outright refused and suggested that she bring the maid assigned to her child, since my mother-in-law sponsored a maid for them after all of the things they complained about. Yeah, I feel like she's set up pretty straight by the mother-in-law.
Wait, so the mother-in-law has a maid taking care of the kid, but that doesn't take care of like I want a father figure in the kid's life.
Hire a father maid. Done.
Hire an actor to be the father figure.
Now we're talking.
These
are real ideas.
That could be a service. That
These
could
are
be a service.
Real ideas we're putting on the table.
In Japan, they have like rent a grandpa. Why wouldn't they have rent a father figure in America?
Rent a dad would go crazy.
Rent a dad, rent a daddy would even go crazier.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
As I try to.
Now, after all of that, Kelly started picking on things that my husband likes. He likes when I wear skin-tight dresses and leggings because they complement my figure. So she started wearing the same clothes. My husband enjoys certain dishes I make for him, so she started learning how to make those dishes and purposely made them too much so she could send some to him right in front of me.
Oh my
with
God.
a smug smile.
She is literally trying to swoop.
She's writing her own SOPs.
She is. She is making
How to
systems
steal your man.
and operations so she can successfully steal your man.
Full video recordings and all. Now, it didn't stop there. She also tries to copy me as much as possible. When I buy something new, she buys the same thing within 3 to 4 days. My husband and I like dogs, so she adopts a puppy, and what do you know? She gets one a week later. She copies everything: clothes, makeup, jewelry, etc., etc. It was getting a little bit creepy.
Dude, over time, you guys are going to look the same.
Yeah.
Like, hey, she has jewelry, that person has jewelry. And
Twins.
then before you know it.
Your husband might not be able to tell the difference.
Plastic surgery? Oh, dude.
Oh.
That's where it gets really crazy.
And then you slightly have pictures together and they're slightly looking more like her over time.
Yeah, I don't like this at all.
And then maybe, is there anything she can do to make the wife look less like herself?
Yeah.
Like replace her lamps with like UV lights so she gets like tanner and her hair color changes, and or like putting hair dye in her shampoo. Like, there's so many things we could do here. I should really stop ideating.
Dude, you're giving her too many ideas.
I'm giving her way too many tips. But then one day at a family gathering, she outright stated that my husband's nephew, her child, looks so much like my husband and could pass off as his kid. My husband looks nothing like his nephew. His nephew literally has his late father's face. It's like it's copied and pasted. So I'm guessing husband and the brother didn't look alike. They look different. He looks different than a nephew. Meanwhile, my husband and his brother look nothing alike. I blurted out a very audible, "No, they don't," which was followed by my husband's sister saying, "Are you blind? They look nothing alike. I would say he has his father's face." But then Kelly responds, actually, people would mistake them for father and son.
Is she trying to insinuate, like,
You look like his dad.
infidelity? Like, you look so similar to my kid. It's almost like he is your child.
That's interesting. Dude, is this the first time in OK Storytime podcast history where it's a reverse DNA test? It's like, it's not the child, his child, but she wants everyone to think
it is. And now now he has to get a DNA test to prove that it's not his kid.
Reverse paternity test story. That's
I would love to see
crazy. Well, she then proceeded to whip out her phone and show a wallpaper of my husband and nephew smiling together. She came prepared. I looked at the phone, then at her. "Oh, is this why you've been trying to get my husband's attention this whole time?" Confused. My mother-in-law asks, "What do you mean?" I casually said, "Well, why don't you ask Kelly? She's been trying to get my husband alone with her for some time now. Good thing your son's not an idiot." In front of the whole family.
Exposing it, showing it in the light, showing this weird behavior in the light. Is this a good idea?
I think this is too much, and I think it's a emotional reaction because she keeps being pushed and pushed and pushed.
Yeah.
Not that it justifies it at all.
Yeah,
but
I mean, she's the one, the sister-in-law is the one pushing. Like, that is
Kelly
messed
needs
up.
to stop.
Kelly needs to stop, but I wonder if this is just going to bring more drama to OP.
Because if you're doing crazy things around crazy people, it's just going to escalate.
Yeah. Exactly. The crazy person will always be crazier than you.
That's a bar right there. So then Kelly shouts, "What the heck is your problem? I was just trying to give my son some normalcy and experience and having a family and a father." So I said, "By trying to take my husband?"
Ooh.
Can't do that. Can't do that. You're a homewrecker in the making, a stalker and a creep. No wonder no one would date you. God, your child will be better off without this witch of a mom in his life," I yelled back at her.
All right, OP, it's a little bit too much. I don't know if this is going to end well.
Getting right to it.
But yeah, you are saying the truth.
OP is...
Does the truth need to be said?
She's
I don't know.
living, one might say, a little too authentically.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too.
Yeah, maybe keep some of those thoughts to yourself.
So I stood up, thanked everyone for their time, and proceeded to leave with my husband. On the way home, my husband told me what I said wasn't nice. I asked if he was defending her. He said no. He agreed that Kelly deserved to be told off, but not in a humiliating manner and definitely not in front of the kids.
Oh, that was in front of the kids.
The whole family was there.
That was in front of the kids.
Literally everyone was there, and she's just going crazy. But I think husband had a great response. It's like, yes, sister-in-law needs to be set straight, but not that way in front of the kids and the family.
Your poison tonic says she got a backbone. And like, yes, but a backbone in the wrong arena at the wrong moment. I think it is important to set a boundary and say something.
Yes.
For sure. But say it one-on-one, not around kids that are going to like hear this terrible stuff about their mother. And maybe say it in a little, like, criticize the action rather than like her dating life.
Yeah.
You know?
And then too, it's like now, you know, you probably want support from like a mother-in-law and everyone else in the family. Now they're looking at you like, well, you're acting kind of crazy. Maybe you're the real problem, and they're not going to support you in trying to, you know, fix this whole Kelly issue.
If you don't have context, you look worse.
Yes, exactly. And he's looking
not great.
Pretty bad right now.
Not great.
Now I'm here typing on the toilet. I just really couldn't take her Delulu self anymore, so that's why I exploded. So am I the a-hole? By the way, sorry if this is confusing. English really isn't my first language, and I'm still learning, and we have an update, but let's answer OP's question. Is OP the a-hole?
I think with the outburst, OP became the a-hole, was not the a-hole before. Up until like at that moment, yeah, took on a little a-holery.
Your Poison Tonic in chat is saying everyone's an a-hole, LMAO. I think sister-in-law Kelly, definitely an a-hole with how she's been trying to encroach. You know, I will say this does not at all co-sign her behavior, but like losing her husband, she's raising a kid. I feel like she is trying to look for something, but it's just like, it's so, you cannot do that. It's so bad trying to
steal someone else's relationship.
Yeah, particularly your brother-in-law who's already married. Like, just absolutely insane. But I do feel for her a little bit on
and I think maybe there's some grace that should be given to her, but I also feel like OP has given her a ton of grace.
Yeah, again, OP should definitely entitled to lay down the law, just not quite in the way she did it.
Yeah.
And chat's voting as well. So put your
a-hole or
votes in
not
the
a-hole?
A-hole or not the a-hole? We want to know.
We have 1 vote for a-hole and 4 votes for not the a-hole.
Get 'em in, y'all.
Chat might be saying not the a-hole. We're over here saying the a-hole though.
So far, they're saying not the a-hole.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying so far.
We might disagree, but let us know what y'all think. Put your answers below.
Comment below. But we've got this next update. Thanks for all the comments and the votes. This is going to be a little update on what happened in the past few hours. I get where I may be the a-hole. Hope he's self-classifying. But with the feelings I had, it was just not possible to hold back. I have anger issues, though they've gone down a bit because I got some help, and I also have the support of my husband. But there are times where I just can't control it. My husband and I had a little talk about the incident. He said I wasn't wrong in correcting her, but I was wrong in insulting her.
Agreed. He
was just a little disappointed with how I handled the situation, letting my anger take control of me. As for my mother-in-law, she called us and asked if I was okay. She did reprimand me for my actions, but was also sympathetic to the fact that I was offended by Kelly. She asked if Kelly and I could come over and have a talk to straighten things out and see if Kelly needs any help. Another W move.
That is a W move.
Yes.
Because I mean, again, if we're looking at this behavior and getting a little curious about what's going on behind the behavior, this person's probably struggling massively. And this is, yes, a misguided way to act out and find support. But at the end of the day, this person just wants support. She just needs someone for her son, someone for herself. And maybe giving her a support structure will help her act out in less of a weird way.
What's the ultimate solution we're trying to get? Have Kelly stop like badgering the husband? This seems like a path there. This definitely seems like a path there. Mother-in-law explained that while Kelly's actions might not be favorable, her situation is something to feel pity for. Mother-in-law believes that losing her son, Kelly's husband-ish, and having to take care of a child alone was too much for her. That's why she asked if I would be willing to talk to Kelly and explain to her why what she did wasn't okay. If Kelly refuses to listen, mother-in-law said that she would have to handle it herself. Again, great.
W mother-in-law.
Dude,
mother-in-law is crushing it.
This might be the best mother-in-law in OK Storytime history. I mean, this is off the charts here.
I mean, yeah, and she's also like offering to be like an arbiter of like what's going on here, a little liaison. This is great.
This is great. As for my husband, he understands if I'm not ready to face Kelly, but thinks that it would be the better option. He suggested that we go low contact with her for a while, not completely cutting her off for the sake of the child. Because remember, that's still his nephew at the day. Both of their nephews at the end
again,
of the day.
Another cash money move right here. Low contact over no contact. You have tiered boundaries with that kind of stuff.
They must be a fan of the show.
They're doing everything
all
right.
The core tenets. I'll update you guys if anything else happens. And Sam.
Yeah. Oh, there's updates?
See, the thing is, this next part isn't an update.
Oh, is it from the other side?
Comment from Kelly.
No way!
Kelly has entered the chat. Sister-in-law has entered the chat.
I love these. It feels like the Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron crossover, you know?
Dude, it's always, they're rare, but when they happen, it's always a ride.
I am so excited. Well, what are your thoughts? Do you think OP is overreacting and Kelly actually has some truth to what she's like, maybe we've only gotten one side, and the person who's saying I'm not crazy is actually crazy.
Is OP's husband actually secretly in love with Kelly and OP's just, getting in the way?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stock
guys-
blocking.
Because you guys think OP's the a-hole, right?
A little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right now, both
Made an
parties
a-hole move.
are the a-hole, and OP made an a-hole move towards the end. We understand why that happened, like maybe there's justified a-holery, but a-holery nonetheless.
If that's the case, Kelly's probably going to make a lot of sense, and we're probably going to side with Kelly.
Oh, I don't know. I at least right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to side with Kelly, but we'll see.
I would be impressed.
I would be impressed.
impressed.
This is says Sam just had a full body.
Oh.
Darn toot
big O.
Vlad
Not,
Putin.
not the first time it's happened.
That's true. Just by thinking.
That's right.
Y'all, true fans will know about the Jhana retreat.
Yeah, mine's coming up next.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
booked it.
yeah. John signed up.
There we go.
Dude,
So,
man, we're both going to be Owen in these chairs.
I'm going to be centered in a few months, guys.
Yeah.
Just you wait. All right, let's get into this next part with a response from sister-in-law Kelly. So, sister of Kelly here. Oh, sorry. This is Kelly's sister.
Oh, Kelly's sister.
Okay. Still,
Still
from
Reddit
from the other side.
Christmas-ish. Still from
Yes.
the other side, but not as Christmassy. But we're going to
Yeah.
get Kelly's perspective, hopefully.
Hopefully. I don't think Lexi is the a-hole here. I think that's talking about OP. My sister has been a nuisance to everyone. You think she did all that because she's grieving? Heck no. She's been cheating on her boyfriend even before he passed away.
Oh, dude, cheating on a guy
Context.
that's passed away is so much worse.
Yeah, that's some context right there.
Yeah.
She even wants to terminate the pregnancy because she doesn't know who the father might be.
Oh, yo.
So, but she lucked out because the kid looks like her passed away boyfriend. The witch even went out of her way to steal my boyfriend. So she's been stealing her sister's
my God!
boyfriends as well. This
Oh
is
my
like
God!
a pattern.
Wow. At least she's bad enough at it that it doesn't seem that successful.
Yeah, her hit rate is low at least.
Although to go after your family's significant others is that's cheating on hard mode.
It's ultimate final boss.
It's the final boss. So, maybe she does have game at lower levels.
Now, the last straw was my ex-fiance whom she effed after the passing away of her boyfriend.
That's better? Is it still, I guess it's not, is it cheating still?
I mean, that is a question to answer.
Would you rather
Okay.
be cheated on like when you were before you died, before you passed away, or after you passed away?
This is letter of the law versus spirit of the law. Letter of the law, yeah, it's not cheating. Spirit of the law, what the are you doing?
Yeah, you need a little
What
grace
are you doing?
period. How long after?
It's not even the time. She slept with her sister's ex-fiance.
Oh, her sister's ex-fiance right after.
Right after the death.
I just heard I slept with someone right after death. Didn't even hear ex-fiance.
Yep.
That's double bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
After that, none of the family members would talk to her. Not shocking. They actually cut her off completely.
Oh, man.
I, on the other hand, did keep tabs on her. She's crazy. OP, tell me what time you're going to meet with mother-in-law and that witch. I'm going to be going in with you.
Ooh.
So now
We're getting some revenge.
Kelly's sister is like, yo, I'm coming in back up for you,
Yeah,
OP.
yeah.
Like, I'm on your team.
Whew.
Wow.
Whew.
We do have some relevant comments. Any conspiracy theory predictions on what's going to happen in this meeting?
I mean, I don't know. I'm like, what do you say to someone whose first reaction to their significant other passing away is, let me just rifle through the trash of my sister's most important relationships and do a little post funeral hookup? Like, I mean,
It's absolutely insane.
I don't know whether this is someone that can be spoken to.
And I wonder if mother-in-law or other people know.
Yeah, this almost feels like hey, we are against pettiness. We're against the public flaming. But at a certain point, someone is so prolific. Someone is such a philanderer that you need to do a public PSA
Yeah.
to say, warning, do not go near this. This is a fire. This is poison. Please. And I think we've gotten to that level here.
Yeah. Break glass in case of cheating emergency.
Yeah, and
This is a
we've
cheating
gotten to the
emergency.
breaking glass. We've gotten to the caution tape. We've gotten to the place where you need to say, hey, bottle labeled poison.
Yes, I agree. I think at this point, and honestly, I do wonder if mother-in-law knows, because now, before it's like, oh, dude, W moved my mother-in-law. Now I'm like, I feel like this is almost like, we had this in a story yesterday where it's like, sometimes when you stay neutral, it actually sides with the aggressor, you know?
Yeah, if you see this kind of behavior again and again,
Yes.
and you're not protecting the people that are getting hurt by it, then you're really just supporting the perpetrator of, that evil. So Ezekiel says, Sam, maybe that's how she grieves. When I'm sad, spicy sleep definitely makes me feel better. Then, get a gigolo or something. Like,
just someone who's not.
Wait. A what?
gigolo. You know what that is?
It's a male spicy
worker.
Oh, I thought that was what's that thing in Pulp Fiction? A gimp.
A gimp. Different, but
Different
same, but
terms.
potentially same energy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, my bad. Okay.
Anyway,
We've got some relevant comments here, boys.
the
Let me
blind
save
one
you.
says she grieves with her legs wide open.
God.
Heart open legs.
Hey, to get over someone, you got to get under one.
Oh man, these singers are singing too
You have
hard.
to get 6 feet under though.
Guys, stop
they're-
singing so hard. Oh, it's getting hot in here. Okay, anyways,
right.
let's get into these comments. So, comment number 1. My brother-in-law passed away and my sister-in-law attempted to take my husband too.
What? Is this a thing?
Apparently all the kids are doing it. He almost fell for it in his grief over losing his brother. The fact that your husband is standing his ground is good.
That is the craziest way to say my husband nearly cheated.
Yeah.
He almost fell for it is crazy. That's crazy.
Meet with Kelly and the mother-in-law, then limit your contact with her. But set up a visitation schedule with the child and your husband, because that is a relationship that will matter going forward. And you should be the one who does the pickup and drop-offs, not your husband. What do we think on that plan? Quick gut check.
So it's like, hey, let's have a relationship with this kid, but you are not touching or going anywhere near my husband.
Schedule to see the nephew, and I am basically the wall between you and my husband. I like it.
I like it.
I like it. I like it.
I like it a lot.
Commenter number 2, everyone sucks here, especially Kelly. Oh, God. Obviously, sister-in-law is a huge a-hole, and she's embarrassing and desperate. She may need mental health assistance since her strange obsession is increasing. That is true. Let's see if we can get her some mental health help. 'Cause-
Yeah.
Oh, God, does she need it?
She needs it.
Wow.
Like all over 24/7 for a while.
The premium package, the platinum, platinum therapy. You did mishandle the situation, and you were unnecessarily cruel about it, and it absolutely was inappropriate in front of kids, especially hers.
Agreed. We said that.
Indeed. This sounds, including your attack on her, like some trashy Jerry Springer low-class race to the gutter. Have some dignity. Your husband is right.
All right. Well, that was a little harsh, but I do agree with the points.
Yes, I do agree with the points too. There's a reply. But husband should have shut that crap down a long time ago. He didn't. She did. Not the a-hole. I think, like, especially after...
Yeah, where has the husband been?
Especially after OP points it out, like, yo, your sister-in-law is, like, trying to get in with you. You got to shut that down. Like, or like, let's do something here. I don't know. Like,
yeah, why hasn't the husband been vocal in putting boundaries up?
and maybe he did something, but we haven't really gotten a good description.
I mean, it could be the classic, oh, my husband is completely oblivious, which we've seen before.
Yeah. Or maybe he like feels bad because it's like, hey,
yeah,
her husband-ish passed away.
It definitely is a complicated dynamic for the husband, for sure. Because again, it's his brother's kid. He wants to make sure he maintains some kind of relationship.
But definitely, like, should have been something.
Yeah.
Another reply: how is OP desperate if it's sister-in-law who's fishing for a new baby daddy inside of the family, not the a-hole? And now we're getting into the update.
And this is the update from original OP not from the sister-in-law sister.
We're back to OP, and
Okay.
I think this is the point where we're going to have the internet, the G6 convention.
Yeah.
Everyone meeting together and coming to the final conclusion. What do we do with sister-in-law Kelly?
Yeah, and again, is the sister-in-law's sister going to come in with OP and fight some power?
Literally, her own soldiers are shooting for the other side. What's going on? Let's get into this update. So I finally have an update for you guys. I went out to speak with mother-in-law and Kelly. She brought her kid, along with my husband and Kelly's sister, Kayla, and Kelly's friend and neighbor, Pat. This all happened at mother-in-law's house.
Oh, baby. ...
Might shorten some of the parts. To those who are wondering about father-in-law, he passed away due to the vid. Pat is Kayla's connection to Kelly and her husband's nephew. And again, that is the neighbor and Kelly's sister. Also, trigger warning about the things that I'm about to mention. Also, to those who said it's not real, I really wish it wasn't, so these things wouldn't be true, but they are. I even thought this kind of thing only happens on TV shows or in Family Court, Judge Judy or Jerry Springer, maybe Dr. Phil. And again, sorry if this is confusing. I am Bisaya and not really great in English grammar. I hope I said that right. So for starters, mother-in-law asked us about the incident and why it led to me name-calling Kelly. But let us know that everything is being recorded by her.
Which is honestly good because you can get into this arena where it's like,
I didn't say that, you said that.
and you get like to gaslighty phrases, and having something that it's like, let the record show what was said might be good.
This is what was said. I told her that it may not be obvious to her, but Kelly has been openly trying to get my husband's attention, like how she wants him over at her house and how she wants him to go somewhere with only the three of them to make it seem as though they're a perfect family. Kayla snorted laughing at the perfect family comment and said, "Really? I thought you already have a guy for that. Wasn't his name David? Or was it Michael? Oh, wait, it's got to be Rashid. The Indian guy you introduced your son to." That comment got my mother-in-law's attention. There's a lot of
Rotating
Michaels.
door.
The rotating door. She asked Kayla what she meant by that, to which Kayla said, "Do you know why Sam, late brother-in-law, didn't want to marry her, Mrs. Mother-in-law?"
Because of the cheating that he knew about?
It's because he knew of all her cheating escapades.
Oh.
That's why they wouldn't get married.
Smart boy.
Yeah,
Oh.
honestly. Basically, it's like low-key, it sounded like together for
You're
the kid.
co-parenting.
Yeah. And furthermore, Sam was my ex whom she stole by opening her legs. Oh, so this was
The fiance.
the ex-fiance that she slept with after the funeral.
Whew, Kayla is unleashing, which I feel like, honestly, being family makes, I feel like she can do it a little bit with more impunity than OP could.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She has her sister.
Unleashing or unloading?
Oh God, dude, she's had too many loads already, bro.
Oh, too
we gotta
many.
decrease the loads. Mother-in-law then looked at Kelly, to which she said it wasn't true, and the reason why he won't marry her is because of Kayla, because Kayla was seducing her husband. Again, that is Kelly's sister, I believe. Sister-in-law chimed in to say, "In which part are you his wife? You claim my brother is your husband, and yet you're the reason why he passed away."
Ooh, what?
Brother-in-law passed away of a heart attack after a very heated argument between them where she threatened to take the child and forbid him from ever seeing the kid.
Oh.
Wow.
I don't know if we can say you're the reason.
Yes, we can't say
That's
that.
a little, the real reason is that little ticker, not maybe not doing enough cardio or something.
Is there correlation?
Yes.
It looks like it, but is there causation?
I don't know if I want to go that far.
quite.
I guess the thing is you have so much to go off of and so many valid points. I don't know if you need to bring in things that are a little bit more conjecture.
But oh my God.
Maybe if you weren't cheating on him with 5 different guys.
Yeah, his heart would feel a little bit better.
Feel a little-
He would have a little stress, but wow.
You've destroyed his HRV.
Well, yeah.
You've destroyed Sam's HRV. We finally figured out what it was. So, in our country, if the child is below 7, he has to stay with the mother unless the mother is no longer capable of taking care of him. Wow. So, Kayla shouted back, "He was only waiting for the child to be at least 7 years old to get him off your filthy, abusive claw."
balls.
In all the chaos, mother-in-law is just sitting there and shocked by all of the revelations happening in front of her. She thought that she could redeem Kelly's character in the talk, but turns out there's no redeeming qualities in her. So that's when her sister Kayla said something about Kelly abusing the young son. She said that she just couldn't hold it and then hit Kelly, which made Kelly fall over.
Whoa.
This is getting way overheated right now. I'm not mentioning abuse of the kid went through. It's quite horrific and will only be available to the lawyer. Kelly stood up with tears of anger and said, fine, you want that beaster of a child? You can have him. Swallow him up if you can. I don't need any extra baggage with me. And took off, leaving the child in mother-in-law's care.
She's like the worst.
She's
the worst. She's
And
the worst. But again, maybe this is the best thing that could happen.
I think so, and I think the family needs to huddle together and we need to help and heal nephew. We have to band. It takes a village. Let's band together as a family to help praise nephew and focus on that. And just I think for now we need to cut off contact from Kelly as much as possible to focus on healing the child and working together as a team, as a family to figure this all out.
Sophia Benazu says, thank God this is recorded.
That
could be used to get custody.
That is so
smart.
True.
Yeah,
that
Sophia
so
says
true,
they will
Sophia.
get custody for sure.
That is so true, Sophia. That's definitely not capable of handling a child. That is absolutely falling under that category. Mother-in-law almost also had a heart attack after everything had happened. She was so mad that she had been the reason why this has been going on. In her words, I encouraged her to stay for the sake of the child. I should have filed for custody even before. We told her it wasn't her fault. So basically, mother-in-law was kind of blaming herself, like, here I was trying to work with her and keep her included when we should have got her out of there, protected the child, and kept moving. But like Opie said, it wasn't her fault. She didn't even know. She was just concerned about the child since he has lost his father. But after that, mother-in-law called up her lawyer friend and asked for help getting custody of the child. She is now on the process of filing for custody with the basis that the mother is a danger to the child and had Kayla and Pat as witnesses.
This is
the
great.
case.
This is great. Thank God.
This is the absolute best case scenario. As AWTA says, yes.
Yep.
This is what needs to be happening. We also had a therapist scheduled for the boy, another fantastic idea, to help him process everything that's currently happening and for him to recover. My husband, on the other hand, wanted to get the child and adopt him as his own after everything settles down. I have to say, I love how the family's
uniting to
together.
make sure this kid is okay.
Yeah. Shout out to everyone, but this is a insanely traumatic scenario for the child and everyone involved, but mostly the child, and everyone is doing their part here, which I love to see.
This is amazing.
This might be my last update, but will be posting if anything comes up. Thank you, internet strangers, for letting me share this very unusual and crazy situation I had, and we do have update number 2 coming up.
Wait, we have another update?
It's not over. We still got a good 30% of the story left here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, that last update was a bombshell. I can only imagine what the next one is.
Yes.
And I think, exposing this all to the family in the correct setting
Yes.
was perfect. That's what should have been done.
Yes.
What OP did before was just blurt it out emotionally, and then it kind of didn't do anything. But then when there was a actual moment of, hey, let's get these people together and talk about and arbitrate what is happening, the crazy came out.
Yeah.
And then it could be dealt with in the proper way.
And mother-in-law was beating herself up about it, but it's hey, this all wouldn't have happened if you hadn't have scheduled this. So shout out to mother-in-law. Let's get into update number 2. So I'm making this post to address people's concerns and also talk about what happened after the filing for custody. For the people who asked if Kayla and Pat knew about Kelly's abuse of the child, why didn't they report it? Well, they actually did. Kayla was the one who reported it after Pat told her. She even had pictures. However, after she reported it, the officer did a welfare check and didn't find anything. Kelly explained that the kid was just clumsy and that was a result of it. They believed the statement without asking the kid and left without further investigation.
What kind of check-in is that? That you're not doing your job.
Literally completely useless. Furthermore, Kelly had filed for harassment against Kayla. What? Again, this is the crazy sister-in-law filing for harassment against her sister, who's
Yeah.
trying to help fix this insane situation. So Pat was the only way that Kayla could keep tabs on the kid and Kelly, the neighbor. She documented everything along the way. We also found out that Kelly was toxic to Sam, accusing him of cheating and even laying hands on him. The guy was too nice to ever do anything back to her. Guess they got that from their mom. The cheating part, though, might be from their dad. He cheated on mother-in-law multiple times, twice when she was pregnant
Oh, jeez.
with Fredland, the husband's sister, and again when she miscarried due to finding out about father-in-law's infidelity. Oh, dude. God, like the nicest people with just the most nuclearly toxic people just being insane.
Yeah, and I think that's when, like you're super nice and don't have boundaries. That's what happens. It's like you just get wrecked.
They'll keep infiltrating because they can, because they can stomp all over your boundaries. Keep them up, ladies and
Keep them
gentlemen.
up.
For those who asked how brother-in-law passed away, I didn't mean he passed away then and there. He was hospitalized after suffering from the heart attack and later passed away. Brother-in-law wasn't really the type to follow his diet, which might explain why his health declined so rapidly. While hospitalized, we found out that he was diabetic as well as a result of a very unhealthy lifestyle. He drank soda like it was water, rarely ate anything healthy, and mostly lived on fast food. I mean, that paints some context. He also didn't take his meds on time because he believed that they would make him pass away one day. Now, for the events after the custody filing. Husband's sister, Fredland, and her husband came to our house for a visit. We all had a little talk while the brother-in-law had a word with my husband. According to my husband, he was asked why he never stopped Kelly's crazy antics from the beginning. Remember that question we asked at the beginning of this episode? Like, why didn't the husband?
Yeah, I feel
put
like
the
he
wall up?
we were like, couldn't he be more vocal?
Exactly. Like a brother-in-law did when she started flirting with him. Well, my husband replied that he thought Kelly was just a grieving widow with a fatherless child. He didn't want to offend her, assuming that it was just her way of coping with the loss. So I guess the argument is like, if she's actually not flirting and just like trying to
That would hurt her
find
even
connection,
more.
that would be like pretty painful.
Yeah.
To which
I think is fair.
Yeah. Again, it's a very tough situation. Maybe at that point you consult with wife and you're like, hey, I'm between a rock and a hard place here. I feel like she's flirting with me, but I also don't want to accuse a grieving widow of trying to sleep with me. So
Agreed.
Any advice? To which I replied, so you really aren't an idiot, just a little bit. Classic case of the slightly or not so slightly oblivious husband. We've seen it before. He was a little offended, but he accepted it, saying that he should have stopped things as soon as they started getting too awkward. Sister-in-law also talked to me about the kid. She asked us not to adopt him as it might cause complications in the future. I asked her why, since the child didn't inherit the sins of his mother. She said that might be true, but choosing not to adopt him and leaving him with mother-in-law would be the better option, as it wouldn't fuel any more of Kelly's crazy and toxic behavior.
Is that, I think the mother-in-law is just as good an option as OP and but is that true?
Maybe Kelly is so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs that it's like something like she's like, oh, first you tried to keep my man away from me, now you're taking my child. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I wish we had more insight onto like, again, like
restraining order maybe?
Yeah. For the child, 10 trillion%. And then for the family too, yes. Yeah. Which hopefully she would be able to get that.
Yeah, I think we have enough evidence for it.
Absolutely.
I think you could adopt the kid and it would be fine.
Yeah. Opie says, I told her I would discuss it with my husband and consider all of the factors at play. And if you want to consider that we have 2,000 full episodes that you can binge to your heart's content.
So many.
Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Search OK Storytime to binge those right now, or I'm going to be angry. I'll have 2,000 pounds of anger thrust upon you. But Sam, before we get into the finale of this story, do we obviously a horrific thing that's happened? Are we feeling good about the family's new plan to, protect the kid and kind of work together as a team moving forward?
Yeah. Regardless of whether the kid falls in the mother-in-law's hands or OP's hands, I think the kid is going to be in a much better spot. I think the family is now communicating finally. So I'm pretty happy with where we're ending. This is ending much better than where we started.
Most definitely.
The kid's going to be better. The crazy person is going to be removed from this situation. I think we're going to better pastures now.
Yeah. And it seems like there's like mother-in-law. There seems to be a lot of people that are like really trying to do the right thing and executing on it, living up to their word.
Yeah.
So let's get into the final part of the story.
All right.
Opie says, so first thing tomorrow, I'm going to talk things over with my husband. I just hope he understands and will consider sister-in-law's suggestion. Wish me luck. I'll update as soon as I can with what's happening. Also, I think I might be pregnant.
Oh, there's a lot going on.
The
in this
plot
story.
twist ending. I was expecting to be like, and we just close it up. No, huge plot twist.
And I think it's my husband's.
Uh-oh.
Necrolepsy.
So what?
Never mind.
Dude, I've been loving Riley's comments on today's episode. I haven't had my period for 3 days now, and I'm really craving mango-dipped vanilla ice cream with chili toppings.
Oh, yeah, you're pregnant.
Yeah, guaranteed. My mom's was a
good.
foot-long meatball subs.
Ooh.
But that's it.
Still
Dude,
is.
now I'm
I'm gonna hurt you physically. What the? Where did that come from?
It's been a minute, man.
That's what your mom said.
Chat, help me out. What's going on?
Is that the end of this episode?
Golly, let's wrap it up.
End of the story. Well, don't worry, we got another story coming right up. I'm banning my sister-in-law from my future wedding because she disrespected me.
Oh, the in-laws and their joys.
So I want to make something clear from the start. I'm not even engaged yet, so nothing I'm saying right now is set in stone. So there's a very real chance something could change when we do. But right now, this is how I feel, and I have been told I'm being an a-hole. By the way, this comes from your girl Cal03, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. My partner, 22 male, and I, 22 female, have been talking about getting married. We've been together for almost 4 years, and he keeps teasing about how he's got this huge plan. We have been planning it kinda to the point where I know where I want to get my dress from, the color scheme, and generally what I want from the day. For the most part, it's going to be a very non-traditional wedding from what both of us have agreed. Not very big, some traditional things, but we'd rather spend more money on the honeymoon than the wedding. Anyways, my one big request with our list of family and friends coming is I don't want to invite anyone who doesn't support us or who has caused us any kind of trouble/trauma throughout a relationship. Yeah, ban all the drama, people. You want your wedding to be a freaking vibe.
Fair, dude. Why would you want anyone who's like a drama source in your life at a celebration of your relationship?
Unless you want your wedding to be remembered for that drama.
Yes.
Which is, sometimes something fun.
That would be a bold move to be like, I want my wedding to
Yeah.
be full of drama.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Dragon Princess and Neville Hogbottom. I love you.
My mother isn't invited due to being no contact, and there's a few others who are kind of in a hot list for maybe not being invited because they might cause drama. So, in comes sister-in-law. She's 26. We'll call her Sarah. Sarah's always been rude to me from the very beginning. She made it clear she didn't like me for a long time. I thought I was being crazy style for thinking so because I grew up being told I was overdramatic. So I never really brought up that I felt that way to anyone because I thought it was just because she kind of has an aggressive personality. Ro's a nurse and waitlist professionally. Dang. But after dinner with my parents, family, and our second year together, we went back to his dad's house. I was talking about getting one of those low-income bag credit card loans because even now, the only way I'd be able to afford a car anytime soon is I don't have family members who can help out with it. Well, my partner's dad respectfully and nicely tried to tell me that was a bad idea. She full-on freaked out on me, yelling about how I can't do such a stupid thing and I'd ruin my partner's life more than I already have, and how dare I think about bringing him down into my debt with me. Again, we had only been dating 2 years and even now have no plans to join our bank accounts when we got married.
That's weird. That's like a weird reaction.
Sisters being
to
weird. That's a little weird.
It's quite a strange response.
My man had my back and got really mad at her and told her to stop being a jerk, which, yeah, that's a jerky thing to do. Later, Sarah texted both of us separately, her trying to make an excuse about her behavior to me, and to him saying she doesn't know me. That's why she's hesitant about me. Almost 4 years in, and she still hasn't made an attempt to get to know me. And while she did kind of stop being straight up about not liking me, it was only in front of him she acted nice. She'd wait till he left the table, sometimes to grill me about my life decisions, and talk down to me and just continue to be mean for literally no reason.
Dude, that's a classic Dio move right there.
Ugh. Now, for context, my partner and I moved out together in late 2021. We had a sketchy situation with our first roommates and ended up finding our own place just for us. When that happened, I also lost my job as an assistant manager, and the job market in Alberta is a crap show to say the least. So while I've been working every job I can get, none of them have lasted for one reason or another. None, however, are because I'm a bad worker, and I can say that confidently because I was the only one who showed up, stayed late, came early for every job, no matter what state I was in. Mentally, physically, I always showed up and did my best. But to Sarah, she sees that as me being a deadbeat girlfriend, despite not knowing any of the story or seeing any of the bajillion resumes I send out on the daily.
She just wants to be you.
She wants your
Low
boyfriend,
key.
dude. She
I don't
wants your
know. That's
boyfriend.
weird.
I feel like she's trying to steal you.
It's kind of strange.
Anyways, now I understand that she's worried about her brother, but she didn't like me even before we moved out together. And lately she's gotten ballsier again about making it known she does not like me. Fast forward to Christmas, my partner and his mom went on a trip to visit her because she lives out of province. And he comes back to tell me she full on told him she doesn't like me, but didn't give him a reason as to why she doesn't like me.
Yeah, but the reason would be because she's a full-on Cersei Lannister, dude.
Oh, ew.
I mean,
Grody,
what? Where do these
McNody.
complexes come from where it's like you don't even know your brother's partner or your sibling's partner, and then it's like they're like the scum of the earth and they're the worst and they don't deserve them and they can't have them.
It's
like,
it could just also be like an attention thing. She thinks like she's gonna get less attention from her brother because the brother's in a relationship.
you guys aren't 12. You guys are like adults. Of course, you're gonna get less attention from
Some
your brother.
adults still
he has
act
a
like they're
wife
12.
and a family. Like that's what he's
Some
going
adults
towards.
still act like they're 12. Then the other night we had a late Christmas dinner because she was in town, and at the table while I was having a conversation with him and his cousin about something, she apparently made a passive aggressive comment. I didn't hear it because I was talking to his cousin when she said it, and my man flipped out on her. Ooh, there we go. Man, go flip.
Let's go. Let's go. We love
A man who flips.
that.
He walked away from the table, and I looked at his cousin, utterly confused, only to look over at his sister and to see her back was fully facing me. So I got up and went to ask what the heckle just happened. The conversation was about something we lost. My man did, lol. And apparently she said, well, maybe since you're home all day, you could look for it since he's busy all day in school. John, you've been dancing a lot.
I'm going to give you a live demonstration and you're going to see it too.
Show me those hips. Oh, damn. That is a good move. But you know what is also an amazing move?
What is that, Sam?
Becoming an OK Storytime member.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month. So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Well, let's get back to the story.
Oh, what? Wait, what? What just happened? What was that?
Basically, they
Who's in
lost
school?
something, and she was like, maybe since you're home all day, you could look for it since he's busy all day with school. So like saying like, you should go look for it. And I thought it was fairly innocent when he told me compared to some of the other things she said to me, but he said it was her tone that made it something she didn't need to say. So back to the whole wedding invite list. Longer story short, I don't want to invite her because she sucks. I have been working a lot on my boundaries. And again, I don't want anyone there who will cause drama or hasn't supported us in the past / been a douche canoe in any sense. But I fear when I brought that up, my partner wasn't exactly thrilled and thinks I'm being a bit harsh since we could be on good terms when we get married. My problem is I'm not interested in reaching out because I didn't do anything to her to warrant such bizarre behavior, and she's too egotistical to apologize or even realize she's been a jerk our whole relationship. So am I the a-hole for not wanting her at our wedding? There are some comments, there are some updates. What do we think, Dakota?
First of all, she's not so oblivious that she doesn't realize she's been being an a-hole. She knows exactly what she's been doing.
She's doing it on purpose.
She's been actively, consciously choosing to be this way to you.
Yeah.
And it is more than evident by the way that she switches up whenever certain people are around versus when she's alone with you. You do not need this creature at your wedding.
This is Doug says, protect your peace. Your wedding should be your most peaceful, joyous moment. And to have a sister that's a dummy to just corrupt that, no.
Why would the sister even want to go to the wedding? You don't like me. You don't like me. Why do you want to be here?
But comment one, I think it's crazy to be planning this far out. You don't even have a ring. Lots can happen in a couple of years, and it sounds like you might be that far out. That's true. It is.
Oh, wait, there's no
early.
engagement? There's no nothing yet?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah, don't even
But
worry
having
about it.
said that, I wouldn't want her there either, but you have to accept that it will be a big source of controversy in his family. Comment two, girl, you're only 22 and not even engaged. This is currently a non-issue. When the time does come and you actually start planning your wedding after getting engaged, remember that this is his wedding thing too. If he wants his sister there, she's going to be there. In 4 years of being together and her not liking you, you have just stayed away from her, or have you made attempts to befriend her, or even sat her down yourself and asked her why she does not like you? I will say not the a-hole, but only because it's not even a real situation because you're not engaged. But based on the fact that you're coming to Reddit to ask if you're an a-hole over a situation that you have essentially made up, I agree with whomever has told you you're dramatic. Hell, maybe Sarah doesn't like you because you're dramatic. And comment 3, not the a-hole. Talk to your fiance. They're not even engaged though, so it's not your fiance. Whether he's fully on board with not inviting his sister, this is one situation where I feel comfortable saying he's already showing support, so you can afford to give a little more leeway. Consider a compromise, like a family sit down, especially after your engagement. Yeah, if it's once you get engaged, then it's a thing.
Right.
Use this time to address your feelings and expectations and make sure that you and Hubs display a united front, and make sure Sis is there and may be subject to no invitation due to bad behavior. While you may not want to give her another chance, it might help foster peace for his sake. Set boundaries together on how much more he's willing to tolerate from her. Ideally, none, since he already recognizes her behavior is unacceptable. Your desire to protect your boundaries and avoid drama is completely valid. It's your wedding, and it's important that you and your fiance, feel comfortable with the guest list. You're already showing great communication, and approaching this together as a team will strengthen your relationship even more. A sit down might not fix everything, but it could bring clarity or closure, whether she's invited or not. And there's a little update. So someone in the comments asked how my partners, we will call him Tom now, parents are with Sarah / my relationship with them. So Tom's parents are pretty nice people. They're divorced and with other partners now, but I would say I have a decent relationship with both of them. Me and Tom's dad had a really long conversation about life on Christmas. That kind of thing settled my doubts about him possibly not liking me, as he had a lot of really positive and very fatherly things to say that sort of stopped making me doubt. I struggle with feeling as though I'm not liked pretty often, so that's part of why I feel crazy when it comes to Sarah. And his mom and I have a good relationship as well. She's kind of offered in a way to fill in for my own mom, even though she doesn't know much of why my mom and I aren't on good terms. But Sarah has always been the prize child, so Tom has always come second in the house. It's kind of been his whole life where he's been stuck in Sarah's world. He's constantly been stuck in that shadow. The unfortunate part is I know Tom's mother has a strained relationship with Sarah because Sarah also just bullies her and Tom's father over the divorce and just random other things, and they kind of cater to make her feel better. When she's around, there's plans with her. Everyone's expected to, when she's around or there's plans with her, everyone's expected to drop whatever they are doing, no matter what, and make sure to see her. Tom's mom and dad kind of just let her to be a bully and take the hits, and unfortunately, that's not really something I can bring up with them, and I know it's not my place. So essentially, she's the only one who has a problem with me on his side of the family. Also, I'd like to address the comments that are kind of mean. I do understand that this is kind of a weird question to be asking, and I did try to be transparent at the beginning that I know that I'm not trying to create any drama out of it, and that's why I came here to ask. By the way, if you don't want to create any drama with us, you should be listening to our podcast all the time, 24/7, by looking up OK Storytime, wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Right. And you don't want no drama with us?
No. There's another relevant update, and I'll get straight into it, because both of us are actively talking about what we want from our wedding, and right now, as it sits with both of us, we are ready to marry the other. That's not to say it'll be next month that he pops the question, but regardless, when we do it, it isn't really what I was asking for advice on. As we sit both, we want to be married by 24. That's the timeline we have for each other, and I do understand that all of this is hypothetical and anything can happen, but we have both been through it in the last 4 years as a couple. We still both know we are each other's person. Please stop being rude. I know it's a silly thing to be questioning right now, but I wouldn't have asked if I didn't think it was worth asking. And that is where that story ends.
I mean, I guess it pays to be thorough, you know?
Yeah, and to be fair, it does seem like they're like at the point where, yes, he hasn't popped the question, but they're actively planning the wedding. So it's like
getting to that point.
It's getting to that point. But that is where that story ends.
My aunt demands I give up my baby to my infertile cousin. I said no.
That's not your baby.
That's
That's not how that works.
no. I, 24 female, am currently 8 months pregnant with the baby girl, and my aunt/cousin have been giving me trouble since I announced the news. My partner and I already adore our girl and have no plans to give her up, but my aunt wants me to give up my child to my cousin, who has been suffering with infertility for the past 5 years. Oof.
Dang.
Dang.
That's really hard. Doesn't mean that she deserves your baby.
Yeah, right?
Based on the title.
By the way, this comes from It's Everly Bear on the OK Storytime subreddit. So for more context, my aunt has raised my sister and I as a motherly figure after our mother passed away when we were very young. We have been quite close with our aunt/cousin throughout our life and have been trying to support my cousin through her struggles with infertility. My aunt is also very religious, being a Mormon who regularly attends church and has a very rigid, closed-minded view on mortality and values and living a good life. She believes that a child deserves a strong, foundational religious upbringing with a strong, providing father and a loving, attentive mother. Since my partner is not Christian and because we both have full-time jobs and careers, she believes that my child will grow up confused and misguided in our household due to our religious differences, lacking a proper sense of identity and adequate care. She says she fears that our child's well-being will not be put first in such an environment and that our kid could likely go down a dark, immoral path. According to her, my cousin, who works part-time from home, and her husband are way better able to provide my child with a loving home with good values and religion. I have both my aunt and cousin blocked on most forms of communication, and I have moved to a new home where they do not know the address. My partner and I also got married in a private ceremony so that they wouldn't have control over my medical decisions. Out of the two, my aunt has been more aggressively towards me and even showed up to my old apartment one day to scream and argue with me about the situation.
Whoa.
Why? She, in a fake nice tone, tried to get me to come with her to a cafe near the church to speak with me about the baby, even when I told her there's nothing to be discussed and that I'm keeping the baby. I spoke with the apartment manager and had to hide until she left after a half an hour. My aunt also has her church friends after me. Oh boy.
Oh my God.
They
set the whole town on you.
Right. They sometimes regularly send me hostile text messages and
God.
voicemails. My cousin has been on the quieter side towards me and has been struggling with depression and trauma from her latest pregnancy last year, ending in a stillbirth of her baby after preterm labor at 30 weeks. Oh my gosh.
This is so hard because this person is going through something really, really difficult.
Right.
And everyone's making it about silly,
Yeah.
stupid things.
She has been regularly posting on social media and has joined motherhood-related groups. I've heard through the gossip that she's trying to get a baby through those groups and has been banned from a considerable amount of them to her dismay. She had been harassing young moms and widows for their babies. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
What the heck?
You are also not a good person.
It's insane.
Yeah.
My cousin is desperate for a baby to fix her family and is apparently waiting for my name to give birth
She
for
needs
my baby girl,
therapy.
who she apparently sees as her own late baby in.
She needs massive amounts of therapy.
Yes,
This is clearly a psychotic break.
much bigger issue.
This is the loss of, you're going through loss of your child, and your mind is filling in with is replacing it, the baby wherever it can.
Yeah.
And this is just not, this is therapy very, very much
Absolutely.
needed.
My aunt and her are apparently sure that I will be overwhelmed with my decision and the responsibilities with motherhood, that I will give up / give more to my baby by letting my cousin and her husband adopt her. This is insane.
I, really quick,
Yeah.
cannot imagine, or I just can't understand the aunt and the husband entertaining these thoughts of a
Yeah.
clearly just devastated woman, just clearly having a mental breakdown,
Right.
and they're just they're just encouraging it.
My aunt says that giving my baby to my cousin shouldn't be as hard as it could because we are family and I could have a baby later on as I'm still young and have plans to attend grad school after working for a while. This justification is just okay, sure, but
These
but
are
it's
crazy
my
people.
baby.
These are crazy people.
Yes, you get an attachment to your baby when it's inside of you growing. And you don't want to just give that up just because I can just have another one.
Yeah.
I can just, I
people
got a
make
spare.
the decision, of course,
Yeah.
to give up their baby, and that
Yeah.
is a personal decision,
Right.
that no one else can say, hey, just do it. This is we're
Yeah.
reading other stories where people are just give me the money, you have extra.
Exactly. And it's
You can't just say, give me a baby. You can have another.
you can have another. Because then too, like you go through so much when you're pregnant.
Yes.
And you can't like
There's
that
so
is
many
something that
risks
you
in
have to
pregnancy.
agree with like beforehand. To be
Yes.
like a surrogate or something like that.
Yeah, there's a whole big process about surrogacy.
Yes.
You can't just be like, hey, you had a baby. I'll take it. Thank
Right.
you.
Right.
This is not like a Rumpelstiltskin situation.
Exactly.
You just have her firstborn.
My cousin also apparently wants to get into contact as we had before my pregnancy. I will not be speaking to her again until after I give birth to see where she is, then to prevent further stress during my pregnancy. I have been very supportive of her through her infertility journey and generally liked her more than my aunt growing up, but her behavior and thinking have shocked me and are making me fear for my safety. I am planning a big wedding party for next year since my partner and I privately got married this year, and I am not sure if my cousin or aunt would be invited or able to come.
Don't invite them.
Yeah,
I would not want to invite these people to
absolutely.
anything.
Leave them out of it. I have a lot of family support from both sides right now, apart from those who are close to them and on their side, but I am not sure if that support will be as strong in a year and what my relationship with my aunt or cousin will be then. I have skipped some family events that I know they will be at, but I don't want to miss out on those family gatherings and fun forever. I am not sure how the future will look like with my aunt and cousin after my baby and the issues that arise with that. Any support would be appreciated. And there is an update.
Woo!
Should we just jump right into
Let's
it?
just jump in.
Let's do it. Update. This will be a small update. We got in contact with the local church leader and talked to them about the situation with my aunt and cousin, who are both active members. We talked to him for a while. He initially dismissed my concerns as personal conflict between family and tried to refer us over to counseling services. We explained to him that my cousin is dealing with trauma from her baby's death and that she is having false hopes about adopting my baby, which would be raised in a good home. We also told him that my aunt is feeding into those hopes and has been harassing me on her behalf, causing disturbance and a lot of stress. He told me he understood my side and that he knew what my cousin has been going through with her inability to have kids. He said that he would contact my aunt and cousin to see what they have to say about the situation. I talked with him again today. He said that my aunt and cousin would like to speak with me and that they were concerned that I stopped communicating with them, especially since I moved away. They're probably just concerned, like, what are you gonna,
like, where's
what are you gonna
the
do with my baby?
baby?
Are
Yeah.
you okay in your pregnancy so that my baby can be healthy as well? I explained to him that their behavior regarding my baby influenced me to do these things and pressed him on what they said. He said that my cousin had talked with a church therapist and was looking into adoption to start a family because her IVF treatments were likely not going to produce a child with her condition. I emphasized to him that I was not giving up my baby and that my cousin had been thinking such. He said that he understood that and started asking me for personal details on how I was doing now. He was again trying to set up a meeting between us and my aunt and cousin, referring us to services. I told him I was not comfortable with that at the moment, and he told me to at least call my cousin once. He said he will meet with my aunt on Sunday since I was too scared to do it on my own. Girl, Mr.
Girly.
Pastor, man.
Girly.
Girly.
What are you talking about?
Too scared. My guy.
He's like, oh my God, they keep bringing these problems to me.
Deal with it on your own.
Jesus.
I can't fix it for you.
Dr. Jesus.
Exactly. Our call ended after that. I'll comment any update on what he says in the coming days under this post. I'll also edit this post to make the update easier to find since I don't want to create a whole different post on it. Another edit. I'm not satisfied with his response and do not like that he is putting pressure on me with reconnecting with my aunt and cousin. He says that he understands my concerns, but I think he's being rather dismissive of them and trying to force us to resolve our issues.
Yeah, it seems like he just thinks he's like, oh, it's just a family thing, whatever. Just like
Yeah.
say you're sorry or whatever.
Right.
And he's like, no,
It's like,
they're trying to take my child. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm in the court. They're trying to take my child.
Yeah. That's a big issue, especially since they're like relating it to
Yes.
religious things.
Yes,
also. It's like
exactly.
then he
They're
can have a
using
bit more of a
religious
say.
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe he can talk some sense into them
You would think
using
so.
religious reasons as well. You know, my partner and I thought that it was worth a short reaching out to him because he has influence and religious authority over my aunt and cousin. Exactly. I'll see what he says on the next phone call and see what I can do to make him care more. Another edit to make it clear, I didn't give him any personal information and have no plans for any in-person meeting with my aunt and cousin. We are in contact with legal help and we do not live in Utah. Just to make things clear, I guess.
They're like, we might be Mormon. We're not in Utah.
They have to be in Utah at the moment. But there is another update.
Woo.
We spoke again with the bishop. He said that there isn't much he can personally do to resolve the situation within his capacity between me and my aunt and cousin, other than to refer them to counseling services.
Okay. That's like not true. Obviously, you can't force them to do anything, but
Sure.
you can still talk. Like part of the role of a religious leader is to offer counsel. That's kind of the thing. It's like, that's why you're there. That's why we have, I mean, at least I'm relating this to the Catholic Church, but that's like, you have confession to talk to a pastor or like, to talk to a priest.
Yeah. And maybe since they're like Mormon, maybe it's like different rules. Because if they have like a church counselor, then maybe it runs a little differently. But still, it's also like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like at least counseling would be like more,
just have a conversation with them.
Like if counseling was like the right thing to do in the situation, it would probably be more effective, but it doesn't seem like it is because I think they went to counseling. So I asked him if he did meet with my aunt, and he said he did. Their conversation was apparently focused on my cousin and helping her heal. He told me that my cousin was also grieving the loss of communication with me and my sister, who hasn't been talking to her much anymore. I told him that my cousin was trying to take my baby to replace hers, and that her and my aunt's behavior was threatening the safety and well-being of me and my family. I think he was losing interest in the conversation, so he just told me to do whatever I feel is best for my family, but to consider the grief my cousin has been through and contact family counseling services for further help on this matter.
This is me so annoying. He's like, okay, I
blah,
get
blah,
it.
blah.
Jesus, go talk to someone else.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder too, like,
I just can't imagine
if this was brought up in their counseling or if he didn't want to bring it up or something, or if it was brought up, then maybe he just like, yeah, there's no saving that. I can't help you,
that
man.
seems like a issue, not an ish me.
There you go. Me and my partner sent him an email afterwards with a copy to our lawyer to close off communication. I decided to unblock my cousin and send her a message. I told her that my partner and I are keeping our baby and that is not up for discussion. I encouraged her to seek proper therapy if she hasn't already done so, and told her that I am not comfortable with her, her husband, or my aunt being involved in my child's life. She hasn't responded yet. Regardless of what she says, our relationship will not return to as it was before, and she will not be a part of my child's life. And there is another update. 5 months later. 5 months later. Here's the update everyone has been waiting for.
Yeehaw.
I was busy in the last few months with the birth and projects I have been working on as I recover from birth and take care of my new baby. I logged into Reddit a few times since then, but haven't gotten a chance to update. I am now 25 and my baby is almost 4 months old. Time flies.
Woo.
She is doing well and brings us so much joy.
Slay.
I love going on walks with her and she's growing up so fast.
Love it.
I am planning to go back to work soon, looking for a new job. Thank you all for the concern and well wishes, and I hope everyone is having a great time during the Thanksgiving holiday season. Now, the update that everyone is looking forward to, my cousin and my aunt. Since my last update, my cousin and my aunt were silent for a while, and my cousin didn't respond to my texts. In August, my aunt reached out to me through a new number and asked me how I was, and if I had the baby yet. We talked. She was concerned about mine and my baby's well-being since I distanced myself from a lot of my family and had to leave my job. I asked about my cousin. She says that they have been trying to adopt a baby through their church connections, but nothing has been successful so far, because they probably just started on that. Also, through the church connections, does that mean like there's people in the church that are giving up their children for adoption, or they know people? Or does it mean that they see other pregnant people in the church and are just like, hey, can I have your baby?
Hey, give me a baby.
Hey, can I have your, give it here. Hey, like, are you gonna have that?
Cough up your baby.
It's like when someone isn't finishing their food, it's like, are you gonna finish it?
Are you gonna finish that?
Can I have it?
Are you gonna
take care of that?
Take care of that baby?
I'll take it.
I'll take it if you don't want it.
That's what I'm gonna guess is their church connections. I asked about whether they consulted with the proper adoption agency, but my aunt said that my cousin's husband's past may become a problem. Didn't know about that.
Well, they said earlier that she'd been denied by a bunch of agencies.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Do we know what his past is? I don't know if we heard about that.
Mafia.
I think you got it. The Mormon mafia.
The more mafia.
And she proceeded to rant about how the white birth rate is dropping and how people were actively denying themselves parenthood.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Don't like that. Don't like that one bit.
Oh boy. I don't know what to say about that.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. She asked me if I still wanted the baby and got angry about 9-month terminations. She is pro-life without exceptions.
Oh my God. Oh,
So that's
is
what
this
she's
like
talking
the-
about, of the denying their own pregnancy.
Yeah. Is
That's what I
this
thought.
like when like pro-lifers are like, oh, like there's all these terminations happening like right before the baby is born, that's just birth. That is just birth.
Is that like what they do with the statistics or something?
Yeah,
like that?
they're like,
It's
yeah, like all of these babies are getting terminated like at 9 months. I'm like, that's
It's
just
like-
birth, baby girl.
It's like, I don't know about that.
That's just birth.
But also too, in this case, like of these people, stillbirths also happen. You know
yes.
what I mean?
Also that.
So that could happen too.
There are a lot of different reasons
a lot of different
why
reasons.
pregnancy cannot come to term.
Exactly. I reaffirmed to her that I did, and she talked about how my cousin was getting old, but she's in her early 30s.
I'm wondering when they're gonna what's the timeline for them not asking, are you still having the baby?
Yeah, right.
You know,
like,
like,
how old is the
The
kid
baby's
gonna
4
be?
months. Like,
Yeah.
is it like 18 and they're like, hey, you still having that baby?
Still like, is this
It's
still
like,
gonna
I've
be
had
yours?
the baby for 18 years.
Like,
Gonna keep going.
Now
yeah.
my turn.
Yeah.
Like, you've had it long enough.
Yeah, let's switch.
Yeah.
Let's just do like trade off.
Right.
Yeah. You take it every 2 years. I take it every 3 years.
Right.
It's fine.
But she's in her early 30s and that her nest is still empty. She wanted me to at least share the joy and let my cousin be in my daughter's life. Let me cousin
Let me
be
cousin
in
live.
my daughter's life and spend time with her. I told her that that would not be possible due to their past behavior. I feared that my cousin would try to become her mother and let her delusions get her again.
Absolutely.
Or kidnap her too.
Yes.
I feel like that is
A lot of
very
very
possible
dangerous things about
situation.
letting her be around your kid.
Absolutely. My aunt said that my cousin was trying to become better and got some church counseling. I still told her no. She then asked me if I knew anyone or any resources to adopt a baby. I told her I didn't, and that my cousin and her husband should be careful and patient with trying to become parents. My aunt emphasized how becoming parents was important to my cousin and her husband because they deserved children at this point, and
No
for
one
their
deserves children.
yeah, I don't know what that means. Like, are you saying that OP doesn't deserve
Yeah.
children? Is that
And also, the
what's happening?
child, like having a child, is not for you, the parent. Like
Yeah.
you as a parent are there for the child.
Right,
Not the other way around.
right. And for their reputation,
Oh my god.
whoa, they deserve children at this point, and for their reputation, since everyone around them is reaching the parenthood milestone. Girl, you're like, everyone else is having one. I want one.
Not fair.
Like, I get it that you can't, and that's
It's
heartbreaking.
Yes, it is really sad.
However,
but this
like-
this
Yeah, you can't
can't just
react with this and just expect her to
give you a baby.
one.
You can't keep trying to steal babies. Stop
yeah,
it.
because it's like, well, then what about them?
Yeah.
What about
No,
them?
they don't have a baby. They don't deserve a baby.
Yeah, exactly. She asked about my future family plans and pushed me on when I'm going to get pregnant again or have my next child. Girl. You can't have this one. You can't have any of the other ones unless you like pay me to be a surrogate. Me being OP.
Yeah.
She told me family planning was important, especially after this surprise pregnancy, and asked if they could be involved next time. Involved in the pregnancy? You want to be there when it's conceived?
Like, can we just be there? Like,
Can we
we'll just
just,
be in
like-
the background.
We won't even make a noise.
Yeah, you won't even know we're there.
As the call went on, more and more of her past and unusual behavior became apparent, and I was getting tired of it. I wanted to end the call, but she ended it first because she had some activity.
I really hope that she gets help, though. Like, truthfully, like,
Yes.
this is sad.
Very much needs
This
like,
is sad.
real help.
Yeah, because she has gone through like a really traumatic experience and like
Yes.
incredible loss,
Yes.
and has come out of it just not well.
Not healthy.
And she has these people encouraging her to these crazy ideas.
Yeah.
And it's I really hope she gets help.
Thankfully, I have my sister to keep me in the loop with what's happening with my aunt and cousin and other matters regarding my family and my old church. Everything my aunt said was apparently true about my cousin. According to my sister, my cousin's overall mental health seems to have improved from her worst, but she still has her deep depressive periods.
I mean, until she stops asking for your child, I think you can
Yeah.
assume that she's not doing great.
She sometimes feels very empty with her lack of children and her worsened relationships with me and my sister. That could be true.
That-
and
I
that's
mean, I'm sure
not
that
something
is
that
true.
needs to be ignored. However,
No, that's something
again,
that should be looked at.
yeah,
Because that is that's a very common feeling for women who lose children
yeah,
and or who can't have children. Like, it's
Right.
totally understandable to be sad and depressed and and to have that jealousy even or longing. But when it comes to a point like this,
Yeah, you can't react in this way.
No.
And it's also like hard because she obviously can't see that like the worsened relationships with me and my sister is
further
because
isolating.
of
Yeah.
these like unhealthy reactions.
The thing is that if she was like reacting better, she'd probably be able to be around these kids.
Yeah.
Like, she'd probably be able to have a relationship with these
Exactly,
kids. And yet
exactly.
she's in trying to pull them closer to her, she's pushing them further away.
So maybe OP can like explain that.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I want you to be around the kids, but you can't keep trying to take them.
Right. But we always want you to be around us. All you have to do is listen to episodes just like this one on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime.
Do it.
We'll always be there for you. We'll always let you come around.
Don't
We'll let
worry.
you around us. But there is a little bit more. My cousin and her husband are also trying to find an IVF doctor abroad in hopes of a miracle, since a lot of their options are shutting down here. My cousin apparently still views my baby as something she lost. Interesting. But she believes God will give her kids soon and has been trying to get her sins forgiven. We are skipping Thanksgiving with my side of the family in a few days for obvious reasons. I am going back to the workforce soon, likely after all the holidays. I have my childcare arrangements ready with all the necessary precautions, and the future is looking good overall. Again, thank you all for your support, and let me know if you have any questions about anything. Mormonism, my family, motherhood, etc. And that is the end of the story.
My sister-in-law secretly holds a grudge against me, and it's making me paranoid.
What was that? Oh, it was nothing.
Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a long one, but I'll try to be as concise as possible. So here's the deal. I, 33 female, don't know if I am being completely paranoid or if there's something really fishy about the way my sister-in-law, 38 female, has been acting lately. By the way, this comes from Low Needle Worker at 620, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, for context, both my brother, 45 male, and I moved back to our dad's hometown, him almost a decade ago, and me in the last year. About 5 years ago, he started dating this local girl, and they are practically married nowadays. Overall, sister-in-law is a great girl, and we've been so lucky that she chose to be part of our family. We are very good and close friends. But here comes the small town nonsense. There is an immense social gap between her and him. To give some context, her mom used to work temporarily as a maid for people from my family, which in my culture also means extended family. Think grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. She and her family struggled so much I can't even begin to describe or understand, really. She made well for herself, worked really hard, and is a successful professional. She has bought her own beautiful house and continues to improve herself daily. Let's freaking go. Seriously, there are few people in this world whom I admire so much. But needless to say, she carries a lot of trauma. She is very anxious all the time and is sometimes quite overwhelming. It is also very clear from the beginning that she had a constant need to affirm she was not dating my brother out of convenience. And for our part, we always tread very carefully not to make her feel in any way misplaced among us. So with all that, I can get to what is going on and why I need some advice on whether, how do I spell this, am I being paranoid and need to get a grip or not? Since dad passed away, I have been taking care of my mom, 76 female. Her mind has been taking a turn for the worse, and she sometimes forgets things she says or does very quickly. A few months ago, this happened. We had a booth at an expedition for a local business. The event was already over for the night, but being the party people we are at some point, there were about 10 people at our booth, most fellow exhibitors, drinking, chatting, playing the guitar, and singing. We were all tired, but we couldn't sleepily close the booth and send people home. That would have been incredibly rude. So we stayed on. My brother left early, and my mom, sister-in-law, and I stayed to deal with our guests. At some point, my quite wasted mom got fed up with people playing and singing songs she hated and started discreetly asking me to leave multiple times. I told my sister-in-law, and we decided it was best to call my brother back so I could take my mom home. Right before he arrived, someone took the guitar and started playing songs my mom enjoyed. So obviously, she stopped asking to leave. Seeing that, sister-in-law got angry with me and immediately assumed I was lying and using my mom as an excuse to go home. We were at the expedition for about 12 hours straight at this point. We were all a bit wasted also. We were a few meters away from the party and I was trying very hard to defend myself, but she got into overwhelming mode and simply wouldn't let me. I got more and more flustered, and when she finally called me a spoiled brat who was using her mom to get what I wanted, I snapped and screamed at her. My mistake, obviously.
I mean, 50-50. 50-50. Let me actually...
Were you being pushed to your...
Heads or tails, Riley?
Heads.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You were actually. That is your bad. Sorry, the coin has spoken.
Everyone was obviously to the argument until that point. At this moment, they all stared at me like I had grown a second head. Sister-in-law started screaming at me that I had no right to scream at her. My brother arrived, saw what was going on, and excused himself, not wanting to be caught up in the mess. So I did the only sensible thing, hid in the car and cried my eyes out until about an hour later when my mom was escorted to the car and we went home. The next day, I reached out to sister-in-law to apologize and explain the misunderstanding. But before I could, she said she was hurt with me and needed some time to process it all. She repeated, now sober, that I was using my mom, so I simply left without giving or receiving an apology. It stuck with me, though I promised myself I wouldn't let myself fall into that situation again. Eventually, things got back to normal. But when another almost incident happened, nothing so dramatic, but while discussing the logistics of a family trip we are in, I mentioned she could have negotiated with her boss for a day off so she didn't need to leave work a half day and come back to the event. Earlier that week, her boss' warehouse had flooded. She and some colleagues left their homes in the early hours to help save the stored items. As a thank you, the boss gave each of them a small sum of money. She mentioned it was nice to have a little extra in her purse, but she didn't necessarily need it. And I commented that she could have negotiated the half day instead of taking the cash. That led to another monologue of her accusing me of being unprofessional and that she would never let her employer hang like that, as if I said she should call him on the spot, telling him she wouldn't show up the next day, which is not what I said, of course. That led to an uncle, one of the good ones, briefly lecturing me on work ethics. I think you missed the part there.
Yeah.
Also, sister-in-law does not respect you. She doesn't respect you.
Move yourself from
I
these
think she's
people.
snapping at you because she thinks you're a spoiled brat and you don't know anything about work.
I'm removing myself.
Let her do her own thing and give her... There he goes. And he's gone, guys. Finally, last week, things got a bit more aggressive. Again, we are all quite wasted already. Yes, drinking culture here is a thing. We had spent the day having beers by a river. Sister-in-law, brother, and I, and mom's sister-in-law friend. Also, sorry, I think they're in Ireland. They gotta be Irish.
The meters is definitely, there's a meter. Why'd they say meters?
Expedition, meters. They're selling potatoes. Let's be real here.
Is that the Potato Expo?
In Ireland? Oh, yeah, dude. Come on. Okay. We had spent the day having beers by a river, sister-in-law, brother, mom, I, sister-in-law's friend. When it came time to go home, night already, we were gathering our stuff in a bag. I was cleaning the dishes, and sister-in-law told me she was gathering some things that were left on the table. I had left my phone / glasses / speaker on the table. So when I saw the speaker and glasses in the bag, I assumed she had taken them and put them in there. I grabbed the bag, put it in the trunk of the car, and we all entered. That's when I noticed I didn't have my phone. I came back to the side of the bar by the river, but it wasn't there, so I asked my brother to open the trunk because sister-in-law must have put it in the bag with the rest of my stuff. My mistake again. Brother left the car to help me with the lantern, and she left as well, already in an overwhelming mood, saying she didn't take anything of mine. I tried to explain that's not what I meant, while trying to find my phone as fast as possible so we could just go. But things escalated, of course. I didn't scream this time, I believe, but I did tell her to get in the car. By the time I managed to find my phone, sister-in-law had already left again for the bar, screaming at the top of her lungs that she wasn't going anywhere with me in the car. That was a good 40-minute drive from home. Brother was also in the bar, trying his best to distance himself from the drama. I took a deep breath and went to sister-in-law, trying to reason with her, and she screamed at me the following: "Go F yourself 4 times. You spoiled rich girl. You think you can order everyone around. I did not take your phone." And she proceeded to take a phone and throw it on the table with force. It didn't break, thankfully. She has a lot of going on, and I think she's putting a lot of that blame on OP. And low-key, I'm going to need to be there. I'm going to need to see what the vibe is, what the
Yeah.
tone of voice is.
Yes.
Because I could see how this is being misstrued.
Yeah.
But everyone,
There's a lot of nuance to how this would play out, like in a setting where we're present.
she was crying a lot and was very distraught. My mom had to physically restrain her and talk to her. But we will never physically restrain you from checking out our podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And we're there with stories just like this that aren't as super crazy, but they are crazy.
I feel like a lot of times though, people just like construe like people being emotional as people being bratty because like their emotions are inconvenient in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not necessarily, like not everybody has their emotions mastered.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Some people have mastered themselves and have control over that, but a lot of people don't. So the goal should be to be able to move through your emotions without them taking control over you.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. So she apologized, saying this wouldn't happen again and that she would try to listen to in the future. But I'm wary because it seems something is going on and that she's got some serious beef with me. Am I being paranoid, or is this just to be expected given the whole context of things? I have been trying to see other situations in which I could have offended her to be on the receiving end of those opinions and outbursts, but I can't. Any advice? I'm in need because I love her and my brother very much and don't want us to be estranged.
My mother-in-law is manipulative, so we started recording every interaction.
I think, okay.
For context, my 20 female boyfriend, 20 male, let's call him Adam, and I have been together for a few years, and from the start, his mother, Karen, 52 female, made subtle remarks about how he could have done better.
Oh.
By the way, this comes from Dry Yellow 1866, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit.
I knew it was going to be bad when her name was Karen.
She's ultra religious and expects her children to follow a perfect traditional path: school, university, a real job, and complete obedience. Since we don't fit her mold, every little thing we do is labeled as disrespectful, even when we're just having honest, normal conversations. Adam's brother, John, 33 male, still lives with her and gets away with everything. She only steps in when his behavior is so bad that it's unavoidable. And even then, only if we're around to see it. But if he refuses to help with something, she yells at Adam to do it instead, if she did not tell him to do it originally, which is most of the time, even if he's busy. If she's in a bad mood, she gives him the silent treatment. If he tries to talk about his feelings, she accuses him of holding on to grudges and that he should let go of the past. So when we were 17, I moved in with them because my home was very toxic. I only shared part of what happened, not all, because I was afraid she would call the authorities on my parents.
Oh, wow.
She said she understood. From the get-go, I noticed Adam is not allowed to have his own privacy at all because that means he is hiding things from her according to her. She treats Adam like he's her partner.
Oh, no.
She's completely codependent on him and expects him to drop everything for her.
That's called enmeshment.
Yeah, we learned that one. If he's busy working, spending time with me, or caring for our daughter, 2 female, she gets mad and says, I'm never allowed to ask you for anything. But at the same time, she treats him horribly. She constantly criticizes him, insults him, and disrespects him, yet expects him to be at her beck and call. Fast forward a year and we have our daughter, and she is the love of our life. Karen suspected I was pregnant. We did not know I was, and said she hopes it's not too late to do something about it, to not have the baby.
I thought she was ultra religious.
Yeah.
I'm sensing some discrepancy.
When I gave birth, Karen stood by the door and watched me give birth. When I came out, I was distraught, as it had been a very complicated birth, and our daughter was premature, so we didn't get to see her as she was rushed to the ICU. I was shaking the whole time.
Yeah.
We went to the maternity ward, and I didn't even get out of the wheelchair or lie down before she yelled at us, saying we messed up and better step up.
What?
Valid, we should, and I'm proud that we did. She then proceeded to pray for us while I was still bleeding everywhere.
Oh, no.
When she took Adam and John to town to get things for our baby, they were the only ones allowed to pick anything out for her. Adam wasn't allowed to pick anything except for one beanie. Maybe that was fair since it was their money, but they were rude to him the whole time they were there and dismissed him completely. Back to almost the present, she gets angry at us for setting boundaries for our daughter.
Yep.
If Adam tries to calmly talk to her, she says we're making trouble, and the famous statement, "Do not start with me," comes out. It doesn't stop there. When our daughter is sleeping, she deliberately yells just to prove a point, even though we've asked her to be quiet. When Adam hands over our daughter to her so they can spend time together, she picks a fight. We have a strict rule, no yelling or disrespectful conversations in front of our daughter because it stresses her out and she will think that is normal. Her parents' criticisms are relentless. She claims we are raising our daughter to look poor because she sometimes plays shirtless in the shade during summer or spring. Yet she expects us to wrap her in a blanket indoors in 37 degrees Celsius, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit heat. When we refuse, she snapped, "Don't start with me!" and still does it, even though we've explained that our daughter gets hot very quickly and does not like being covered in layers, seeing as she was born in the middle of winter and has hated it ever since. She punts herself open and sweats profusely, even in winter, but we do cover her when it's cold. The situation escalated when she, along with my father, who I'm now no contact with because of years of trauma, and this one instance being over the line, conspired to take our daughter away.
What?
My father told her that they were people trying to take the baby away from her as a grandmother and urged her to seize full control over our daughter.
What?
He only did it because he was fighting with my mom and wanted to cause her stress. Sounds familiar? Karen took this as a mandate, even making threats that if we didn't do as she demanded, she'd take action. This is when we started recording every conversation for our protection and for our daughters. Listening back has made it painfully clear how much she twists words, gaslights, and manipulates every situation to fit her narrative. And yes, she's furious that we record her, but the fact that we even need to record speaks volume. She's like, "What the heck?
Yeah.
I never said that!" And they're like, "No, we have proof." And she's like, "How dare you!"
I love the image of her just like freaking out in every scenario, and they're just like.
It gets even worse. A few months ago, during one of her rants, she reminded him that this wasn't the first time he'd chosen some girl over his mother. When Adam was 14,
Crazy.
seems entirely irrelevant, he wanted to stay with a girlfriend for a week because things got so bad that he could not stay at home anymore. But he was forced to stay and locked outside of the house for a week, not allowed to leave. When I confronted her a few days ago about what she said, explaining that I'm not just some girl, but his partner and the mother of his child, she claimed I was taking her words out of context. There wasn't much context to salvage. She said what she said, and now she's furious that I overheard it. Fast forward a couple weeks ago, Adam decided to go to the army, but came back because of personal reasons. His mother did not like that he decided to come back at all.
We're going to go to the army and leave your partner and child with your mother?
His mother did not like that he decided to come back at all. From the moment we picked him up, she didn't even look in his direction and refused to speak to him unless she wanted something done or wanted to ask him if he found a real job yet. According to her, it was because it was peaceful without him there.
Jeez.
But it was peaceful because I couldn't object to anything John or Karen did because I was too scared that it would be me against the two of them, and I have my daughter to protect. Now Karen is not letting go of the real job thing. For instance, she was holding our daughter, and only when she was sure I was asleep in the other room, I was sick, did she try to pick a fight with Adam about our jobs. He told her she couldn't yell while holding our daughter, and if she wanted to have a respectful conversation, they could do it later. She got so mad, she handed our daughter over to John, a guy we're uncomfortable with due to his aggressive, short-tempered nature. And because John even comments on her timeouts, which we actually take for her to calm down while we sit with her and explain why she couldn't do what she did, speaking calmly to her and breaking generational trauma. John likes to point out that she's just 1 year old and it won't work, and we just don't want to make the effort. When Adam tried to reclaim our daughter from John, who was in the kitchen around the corner, Karen physically blocked the doorway and tried to push him away.
Wow.
He had to push past her, then John held her for a minute or two with his back to Adam, even though Adam kept asking for her and then handed her back. Then when Adam took our daughter for a walk outside, Karen followed him around the entire house twice. The moment our daughter saw her, she yelled from around the corner something like, "I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to be with you right now," trying to make it seem as if Adam was keeping our daughter away from her, even though just minutes before, she was the one keeping him from his child. She even whispers outright lies to our daughter, petty manipulations meant to distort her perception to a 2-year-old.
You need to get out of there like ASAP.
We moved on to another section of our very small business, and it is struggling to bring in money. However, we still contribute to the house the way we should. We created a backup buddy to raise funds for the business, which is a recycling business, and we plan to sell things we made for that cause. But Karen is still not happy that we do not have real jobs. So we decided to buy our own things for the house since we're not allowed to use their stuff anymore. Now Karen wants us to use our stuff for everyone, but none of theirs to make things for everyone. Meanwhile, we only have enough for ourselves and they make 10 times more money than us. She doesn't like that we buy our own things now and have an opportunity to work from home for a little while, so she tries to pick fights with everything we do. When we don't engage, she says Adam is turning his back on her and his family. A few days ago, we had a big fight, and whenever we made valid points, she said we were being disrespectful. Meanwhile, she was yelling at us and interrupting us, and we stayed calm, keeping our cool and explaining how we feel about things. She went as far as to say that I do not have enough experience to be a good mom to our daughter, even though it's been 2 years. Yet she has to respect our boundaries and has gotten better at it, but she's still not good enough for us, apparently. I nearly asked her, so why can you take more than 2 years to learn basic boundaries, but I have to know how to be a perfect mother at 2 months?
Oof.
Because apparently she had to be one because she had to go back to her real job. She loves to bring up the fact that I will never be a good mother like she is because she had it harder than me and did it on her own.
Oh my God.
But she forgets that she's allowed people in her life to abuse Adam and actually joined in sometimes.
Oh my.
When I told her that she is not doing right by Adam by not listening to him when he is talking to her about how he feels, she said, "Aw, shame. How will he ever live?" in a sarcastic tone. My boyfriend told me we should just leave because it is useless talking to her when she closes herself off to anything, and the conversation goes in circles. She constantly tells us we're disrespectful, yet she insults, manipulates, and fights with us at every turn. If Adam tries to have rational conversation, she either twists our words, changes the subject, or sarcastically says, "Oh, so now I'm just the worst mother ever."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when you say,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes.
You're terrible.
You
I
got
hate
it
you.
right. You are not a good mother.
There's no winning. Now she's saying he does not care about her and tries to send him messages saying that we are not contributing. But she got mad when we did. She's also mad that we are more independent than before. She even asked for our daughter's birth certificate and then said it's because she will be the only one to inherit anything from her. Don't give her the birth certificate. We refused to give it to her because we do not trust her with it, and she got mad. She then took the gift we got her for her birthday and put it on our bed. Adam set it gently at her door because he is not allowed to go into her room. We gifted it to her, and we are not the type of people to take gifts back, even though that is what she has done. She then punted the box and the gift away from her door and expected us to pick it up. Now, he bought her a dishwasher when he was younger with his inheritance money from his grandmother to make it easier for her because she has a medical condition that makes it hard for her to do certain things. He does not want to take it back, but if she is going to give it back, we are going to take it. This morning, she sent him a prayer message after she picked a fight over us not being comfortable driving with her to another town after everything. He said, "Does it not make you realize how wrong this is if I have to record everything for me and my family's safety?" She then proceeded to say that God would reveal the truth to him and set him free because he has the Ahab and Jezebel spirit in his life. For those unfamiliar, this essentially means she believes I am a manipulative, deceitful woman leading him into sin, Jezebel,
Damn.
while he is weak and passive for allowing it, Ahab. Now, I have apologized to him and her if I ever tried to control the situation, but it was hard for me to accept that Adam gets yelled at for everything and he just has to take it. Otherwise, he will get a punishment. But now that we have a child, I will not back down when things get out of hand.
What's your punishment?
I don't know.
You're
Yeah,
a
I'm like,
20-year-old. You're an adult with a child.
20 with a
You're
child.
grounded.
Spanking.
But one thing she needs to understand is that Adam is not weak and not passive anymore.
You say it.
He let the things she did go because it was easier than trying to defend himself. But now he is more adamant with his boundaries and ours. By the way, I'm adamant that you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. Are we just being spoiled and unreasonable? Even in that
No.
first thing, it's like OP is being gaslit so hard
Yeah.
that she thinks that this terrible behavior is normal.
Yeah.
It feels like we cannot have any say in anything because they have helped us a lot with finances and our daughter. And she let us stay in her house even when we got pregnant. And she says we're lucky she didn't punt us out. It just feels like she's so good at distorting reality and everything that happens. And she does not allow us to have any boundaries with our daughter or for ourselves. And everyone in our lives are telling us that she's trying to make it harder for us. Maybe we are just being dramatic, but we need a second opinion or a bunch. Are we the a-holes? And that is the end of the story.
My sister-in-law wants me to donate my seeds without telling my brother. What kind of seeds are we talking about here?
What kind of seeds you donating?
What kind of seeds are we talking about?
We're talking about sunflower.
Human seeds.
Oh, no.
January 28th, 2025. I am 24 and my sister-in-law is 31. We have been close ever since my elder brother and her married. And I thought of her as my own elder sister. And she would treat me as her younger brother and would help me with dates and basically just general life advice. By the way, this comes from user throwaway6871762. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit and submit it there. What are you doing? Go do it right after this. Just a few hours ago, my sister-in-law and her mom visited me, and I was surprised because this time my brother was absent. Usually, he tells me beforehand that he isn't going to come or he's busy, etc. My sister-in-law and her mom stayed for quite a while, the three of us. But after we ate, told me that my brother cannot have his own child, and they have been trying for a long time, and they tested. TLDR, they asked me if I would be willing to donate. Their reasoning was that I would be a better match instead of a random man they don't even know, and I'm related to my brother, and we share the same blood. I was speechless, and it was awkward to say the least. I just said that I would as long as my brother is okay with it, and they said they'll convince him as long as I agree.
Wait, oh no, I thought the brother was coming and asking.
Oh my God.
You're telling me the brother wasn't even involved?
Secret insemination
Oh,
is insane.
No, I totally didn't understand that.
I said, I won't agree until my brother tells me that he is okay with it. They said that it happens all the time, everywhere. Many siblings give their child to their siblings if they can't have their own child. I got a bit angry and I said, I am not a baby juice donating robot.
Go off.
She's just better off finding someone else. I'll end up loving her and my brother's child because he or she would be mine. And they won't be my nephew or my niece, but my child. And what they are asking is too complicated and they should just adopt. My sister-in-law's mom said that I am being selfish and I should help her and my brother. I immediately asked her to leave and I said I'm willing to do what they want as long as my brother is okay with it. If I sense he's not, I will do what's good for him and my sister-in-law. They left, but I could sense that my sister-in-law was annoyed. She didn't say anything, but I feel like what she's asking could complicate my relationship with her and my brother and their child. But the child would be mine, but still my nephew/niece? I feel bad for removing them from the house, but also, I think that I should talk to my brother first instead of doing everything I can to please my sister-in-law. Well, yeah, it needs to be discussed with both of them at least.
Yeah.
There's two halves to that coin, my guy.
And also, I'm like really worried because I'm wondering if they're just trying to do it.
I want to see how that really works,
Yeah.
you know, behind the scenes.
I'm
there.
very curious about this plan.
Am I the a-hole has no consensus. OP was not the a-hole. We have some comments here. Commenter number 1 is not the a-hole. This sounds like a really bad idea. It would be different if your brother and his wife came up with the idea together, although I still think it would be quite messy. Honestly, I disagree with, but I guess that's just from my personal perspective.
I guess it depends on, relationship with your siblings.
I feel like I'd be able to disassociate that it's my kid because I'm not raising them, like I'm not in a marriage with somebody. Like that is really what,
And it's
sure,
also
like the
not
genetics
your
are there.
Sibling, like you're not. It's not like it would be really weird if it was like two siblings.
The fact that she wants to convince him, if you agree, is beyond breaking his trust. Yes. OP says it's going to be messy no matter what I think. If my brother and his wife asked me, I would have agreed for their happiness. But still, I feel like I couldn't stop myself but to treat their child as my own. I even thought that, what if they suddenly asked me to stay away from their child's life? I'm the type of man who would go above and beyond for his family, especially children. And if she asks me to stay away from my nephew child, I will lose my crap. I do not trust my sister-in-law anymore.
Don't.
I also would think, what would the child think once he grows up and knows the truth? His uncle is his father? But he's not. There's like, your father's the guy who raised you.
Uncle Daddy, woo!
I think that there should be a conversation whenever you have a sperm, like, you know, some sort of donor involved. I think there should be a conversation like, yeah, this is like how you came to be.
Yeah.
I think that's always a good conversation to have with a child, especially because nowadays kids are always going off and doing little ancestry tests and stuff, and so it's gonna come out one way or another.
Tell him.
Could
You
you
tell him,
imagine
of
not
course.
telling that kid, and the kid finds out, and
Yeah,
he's like, I look
my
more like.
uncle's my dad.
Oh
It's
no!
like, no,
So, literally-
we meant to, like, that was on purpose. Everything's fine.
What we're talking about right now is just Kung Fu Panda. It's like, yeah, it's not your dad, but it's your
It's your
daddy.
dad.
I would go through with this as long as my brother is okay with the arrangement and we three plan for the future and specifically the innocent child. Commenter 2 says, not the a-hole, as someone using anonymous donor eggs here in a few weeks, you can't bully a donor. It's too complicated.
Yeah.
You were right to consider your brother, and the fact that he was absent from this convo does say a lot. You can't bully someone into doing this. All of the hearts must be open. After they pushed, you were right to say no. OP says, yes, I'm going to talk to my brother and figure out if he truly wants me to be the donor. I have no problem with it as long as I get to be involved in the child's life. I'm not an anonymous donor, and I know I will love the child. I think they should find someone else or adopt so that I can love them as my nephew or niece and not think of them as my own kids. I am kinda emotional and love my family too dang much, and I think it will ruin us all unless we all hit it from the kids and I still be in their life. Well, definitely don't do that. And we have another comment here, but honestly, it's literally just probably more of the same stuff. So let's get into the update. February 2025. Here we go. First off, I'm grateful for all the advice, and some people even said that my sister-in-law and her mom would ask me to do it naturally, which is not something I was expecting. Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Yeah, they're like, no,
I mean,
it's super above board. Don't worry about it.
Well, just talk to your brother about it.
Yeah.
It's not something I was expecting. After a lot of thinking, I thought I should talk to my brother and tell him everything. I mean,
Please.
after literally the least amount of thinking, you should have thought that.
I think it should have been after the first thing. I would have been like, hey, I'm going to go talk to him.
Yes. I called my brother, and after he came over, I explained everything to him that had happened from beginning to end. How she came with her mom and told me about their conception issues, and how it's normal to give your child to your brother, and how it's better for me to donate because we both share the same blood. I asked my brother if he truly wants me to donate. He said he doesn't know for sure. I said if he's not sure, I tried my best to give him assurance. I said if he expects me to donate, then I will do it for his sake. But I would also expect to be in the child's life. If they were my nephew, niece, I would still want to be in their life. But for me, it's kind of complicated because they would both be my nephew and my niece, but also my child. My brother said he needs to think, and for now, his reply is no. He said he needs to think and talk to his wife, and he was looking depressed. So I tried my best to comfort him and said that I love him and my sister-in-law, but I wouldn't do anything that he's not comfortable with. Since he said no, my response then is also no. But if he in the future agrees, I would also agree. I wouldn't be a parental figure, but I would still want to be in their life. He left, and I sent a text to my sister-in-law explaining to her everything and told her that we brothers are not okay with the plan. Yet if my brother changes his mind, I would be willing to donate and be okay with whatever arrangement might come next. And by the way, your next arrangement should be listening to full episodes with stories like this. And you can do that on iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime, and there you will find 1,200 hours worth of stories to listen to. Cracking on that. A little bit of story left. Any closing thoughts here? I mean, I feel like they've done everything
I think
that you can, right?
I think that OP has said multiple times I would be okay with this, of, you know, being a donor if the brother is okay with it. I think that OP seems to see himself as a parent in this capacity, and I think knowing that you kind of have to, maybe not have to, but like maybe you should think about saying no, because you probably won't be in the same parental role as your brother and his wife, and if that's not something that you are okay with, then just don't say yes.
Let's finish this story. I haven't gotten a response from sister-in-law yet, which is kind of surprising given how close we are. But I guess they're both having an argument or figuring out what they want. I'm not sure, but I'm so glad I could get this all out, and I told my brother everything. Commenter 1 says, you did the right thing. but I get the sense that she's going to try to bully him into it. Be on your guard and record every conversation with her and mother-in-law. I'm getting a bad feeling about this, but I might just be paranoid. Better safe than sorry. Commenter 2 says, whoa. Take a step back from the situation and really think about it. Forget how much you love your brother and want to help him. Could you actually not be a parent to the child that is yours? Could you see the child in front of you regularly and not be the one they call Daddy? This is the single most important question. The bond a parent shares with their child is so incredibly strong. You'll probably be overwhelmed by that feeling. It could cause a whole host of problems. Some families are completely torn apart by sibling donations. Jealousy, possessiveness, this can cause your brother and sister-in-law to push you away. You could find it too hard to be around them. How would the child eventually be told? Because in the modern world, that is not a secret that anybody can keep. Stop trying to soothe their feelings and really think about the long-term implications of whether you can handle this. Most people could not.
I think it's even worse that sister-in-law wants to do it the old-fashioned way. To clarify, she does not want to do that.
No confirmation.
That was a commenter.
Yeah.
Commenters were saying she might want to do it the old-fashioned way, and OP was like, no, that's not what's happening here.
Yes.
Don't even think about that. Come on.
There is nothing wrong with not being able to do this, but you need to be sure that it is right for you before you agree. Everyone else is safe. Commenter 3 says, good for you. Your sister-in-law and her mom were being extremely shady, and they clearly wanted to get you on board behind your brother's back so it could then be pitched to him as a done deal that he cannot. Make sure you have proof of how things transpired. They are very capable of lying to your brother that this was your idea.
And there we go.
And that is the end of that story.
I think that people have different relationships to wanting kids and to children. And so I think it is really just a case-by-case basis.
I think in my head, it's just like so much of the like child dynamic built. What is it? It's like nature versus nurture. It's like, I know there's a lot of nature that goes into it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think regardless of brother, I mean, but I can't really speak. I can't speak for anyone else in this situation.
No,
but
I think it's very case by case. I think everyone's has their own relationship to it. But that's the end of that story.
My mother-in-law causes chaos every holiday. This year, I put my foot down.
You gotta put your foot down. Stop the chaos.
Stop it. We refused to spend all of Christmas Day with my mother-in-law and forget about my family like she wanted. So every year on Christmas Eve, my husband, 29-year-old male, and I, 26-year-old female, spend time with my husband's family. This year, my husband and mother-in-law got sick, food poisoning from work. They work for the same company, but in different departments. Therefore, we were unable to attend. By the way, this comes from Anonymous TN, and if you want to submit your own stories, just go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Go. On Christmas Day, we wanted to spend time with my family. I haven't always had a good relationship with my side, but my little brother had passed away in 2022, and since then, my father and stepmother, more like my mom, sought help and got clean. All of us have been working on our relationship. On Christmas Day, my mother-in-law wanted all of us, her, my husband, myself, and our children, to go 2 towns over to her other son's house to celebrate. I let her know that we had plans with my family for weeks, but we would only be gone for 2 hours at the most since my husband had to work later that night. We also wanted to spend time at home so the kids could enjoy their gifts. I asked her to stop by our house when she got back into town so that we could be together if she felt like it. She absolutely flipped out and twisted my words around. She said that I was choosing others over her and claimed that I said she wasn't good enough to be with them. Mind you, I never said any of that. She sees our children every week, sometimes a couple of times a week. All day on Christmas, she blew up my phone, cussing at me and putting words in my mouth. This isn't the first time she's used us as the old scapegoat. I'm tired of the BS. It's like she wants to be in control of everything, and if things don't go exactly how she wants, she throws a fit. My husband normally handles her, but this time I had just had enough. I had told her that she was putting words in my mouth and I wasn't going to put my energy into her. My husband muted her contact on our phones, so we weren't constantly getting texts and calls from her. Us not responding apparently made her 100 times more mad because she blew up both of our phones all day and night. I finally sent her a text telling her I was done. I told her that she could be mad, but I didn't care anymore, and I was tired of every holiday being full of drama. I obviously didn't start this, and she won't use us to take her anger out on anymore. Every holiday, my mother-in-law blames someone for ruining her day. Her birthday, Easter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Christmas. etc. On Thanksgiving, she was mad her other son left early so that they could visit with his wife's family too. On her birthday, we had a surprise planned where my husband and children were going to surprise her with her favorite ice cream, cake, and heartfelt card. While my husband and kids were on their way to her house, she texted me saying that nobody cares about her and that she knew nobody would even put in any effort to make her have a good day. When my son was 1 year old, before the vid really hit and before testing for it was common, my son and I were so sick, we had a fever, and the poor baby had to change clothes twice before we even got out the door to go to the Christmas Eve celebration. We were late that time due to that, and she threw a fit about us being late. Over the summer, she started a huge fight with our other daughter-in-law, my sister-in-law, because she had been staying there while she was for a job, but slowly started moving all of her belongings into their home and using brother-in-law's vehicle at all hours without asking. Sister-in-law had enough. Brother-in-law was in another town training for a new job, and brother-in-law told her that she needed to leave. She then claimed that they were all supposed to start living together. The day after that, she told us that she had gotten into a 4-car pile-up wreck because she was so upset over sister-in-law.
And of course, this is your fault.
When I tried to get to her to check on her, she said that it wasn't that bad and that she was able to drive away.
Sorry, you drove. Hopefully, like you first got everyone's insurance.
Yeah, checking to see if everyone's okay. But we saw no marks on the vehicle when we saw her 2 days later.
Oh, so she might be lying.
She's definitely lying.
Yeah, you don't get to a 3-car pile up.
Crazy.
Also, it's not a pile up if you were able to drive away, I feel like.
This behavior is nothing new at this point. And we do have an update. We got more info on Just No Mother-in-Law. I've posted here once before about my husband, 29 male, and me, 26 female, refusing to spend all of Christmas Day with my mother-in-law and forgetting about my family like she wanted. I want to thank everyone who commented on the first post because y'all really helps me realize just how toxic she truly is. My mother-in-law, 48 female, is no stranger to drama. It seems to follow her everywhere. We live in a small town and we were recently told that she's been telling people that she's in such bad health and that the only reason she's still working is because she pays all of our bills, which is laughable. The last time we were $20 short on a bill, we reached out to her and she told us to figure it out because she was broke. So we did. The person who told us this is very credible and has known mother-in-law for a couple of decades. And if I'm honest, my husband and I just sent her roughly $50 a month ago because she called crying about being out of gas in another town and needing to eat. She also lives with her elderly mother and pays no bills there. But she does have an online shopping problem. She also dumpster dives. She's found a lot of brand new things and helped people with those things, so I'm not hating. Oh well. But she started bringing things with no value to her mother's house and piling them up outside. When her mom and sister told her that she needed to stop and get rid of it, she slowly started bringing stuff to our house and putting it on our porches. At first, I would go through just to make sure that there was nothing we could use, but it got to the point where I was so overwhelmed with stuff that my husband had to tell her to stop bringing things here unless we approved them first. When she was told to stop bringing it to our house, we were suddenly the bad guys and called ungrateful. She even called my husband and brother-in-law self-absorbed people because we didn't want trash at our houses. She also constantly tries to bring me into her fights with people I don't even know. She uses me as a scare tactic, saying, OP is my daughter-in-law. She'll beat your butt. What? Girl, what?
That's actually really funny.
That's
it's like not
crazy.
using like my 2 sons will beat your butt.
Yeah.
It's like my daughter-in-law is
My
gonna
daughter-
beat you up. Is OP
gonna
like
come
really
get ya.
buff or something?
Apparently.
OP's like, yeah, I work out every week, but
Yeah.
she keeps using me as a,
Yeah.
as her defense.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to jail just because she wants me to fight her battles for her. Life with her was exhausting. It disrupted my peace. Another thing she's constantly done is blow up my phone if I don't answer the first time. I have kids. I'm not the type to sit on my phone all day long. It gives me such anxiety every time my phone rang because even if I did answer the first time, she was always witching about something. Always. She was a single mom to 2 boys, my husband and brother-in-law. It's like she wants her sons and their wives to only focus on her and not see their own family. Weird. She was always taken care of by her mother and father. They paid for her life and for anything her children needed. They stopped when she was in her late 30s. Since husband and I have been married and since brother-in-law has been grown, she's constantly made comments like, I can't wait to not have to work anymore and for y'all to pay for my life since I was a single mom. It infuriates my husband because his grandparents monetarily took care of all of them, and if he were to help anyone, it would be his grandmother. We haven't talked to her since Christmas day. Since then, she's been telling people that she bought all of our children's Christmas presents, she pays all of our bills, and she cares for our children more than we do. It's all lies. Besides, I'm a stay-at-home mom. The last time she kept our children alone was when I had our youngest baby and was in the hospital. One night. We went no contact and explained to the children that we needed a break from Nana. Children understood. Heck, my children, all under 10, seem to be more mature than her. We blocked her number, but we do have a messenger account we never use. It was created to talk to my stepdad, who lives states away, when his phone is broken. She's been sending links to videos and trying to talk to my husband as if she never did anything wrong. I mentioned this in my first post, but I'll put it here as well. The reason I stayed in contact with her for so long was because anytime we stopped talking to her in the past, she would cry and say that something was really wrong with her health or claim that she relapsed or almost relapsed. My husband and I are both in recovery and have been clean for many years now, so I didn't want to be the reason that someone else lost their sobriety. I now know that she is in control of her own behavior and I'm done. But what should we do about her lying to everyone in town? Should we just stay silent and let her lie? Or should we somehow address it? Edit, I wanted to add that she had pressured me for months to become a cam girl or start an OnlyFans.
What?
Whoa. I danced. That's so not.
That's insane.
It's not the typical dynamic that you see between a
No.
daughter-in-law and a mother-in-law.
What?
I danced in my past, but that lifestyle is no longer something I'm involved in. I'm sober and turned my life around completely many years. I'm not downing anyone who does that kind of work, but it's no longer for me. She knows how bad my mental health was back then and how I spiraled into substances during that time, so it makes me feel like she had malicious intentions by pushing me to do that at work again. The question remains, what should we do about her lying to everyone in town?
Oh my goodness. You just start doing like the lost dog posters, but just like,
Yeah.
do not trust this woman.
Right.
She's a liar.
PSA, this woman does not pay for me at all. So if she tells you anything, she's lying.
It's a lie.
Lie.
I don't know, man. This just ignore her. Go low
Yeah.
contact. She's exhausting.
Yeah, I feel like with just any lies from people, you kind of just have to deal with it.
Yeah, because it's either like you try and defend yourself and then you kind of often get painted as the bad guy for
Yeah.
trying to defend yourself, or you just kind of like, you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you just have to trust that if there's anyone else in town that's being lied to and they're close enough to you that you guys can talk about
Yeah,
it.
like whenever you're alone with these people, because
Yeah.
honestly, if you don't have a close enough relationship, like who cares what they think?
Exactly. And there is another update. Update number 2. Well, I'm back to update you all on my crazy, toxic, dumpster diving, trash dumping, self-absorbed person I call mother-in-law. I last updated about a week ago, but of course, more has happened. Context, we went no contact with my mother-in-law. After all of this crazy stuff in the previous updates, we blocked her number and hadn't spoken since. Until yesterday. Yesterday, while my husband was asleep, I heard his phone going off. It was the Facebook Messenger ringtone. We don't use Facebook. We created this Messenger account to talk to my stepdad until his phone was fixed. And of course, it was mother-in-law. I rejected the call. She started texting, trying to tell on me to my husband as if he doesn't know what's going on. She said, I was calling to talk to the kids. Opie has blocked me. She really did, and I can prove it. She's been awful to me, and she has disrespected me. You can't keep the kids from me. I chuckled and went about my night. When husband woke up, he replied, I know you're blocked. I'm the one that did that. You were never disrespected, but you completely disrespected my wife when she was only trying to include everyone. And yes, I can keep our children from you. For context, our car recently broke down. It's 20 years old and we've been looking for a new one. My father found a car for us, bought it, and surprised us with it. My stepmother, husband, and mother-in-law all work at the same company. Husband is in a completely different department, but stepmother and mother-in-law work in the same department. Mother-in-law overheard a conversation between stepmother and a coworker about the car and how she and my father couldn't wait to gift us the car. Mother-in-law mentioned to stepmother that she wanted to put $100 towards it and surprise us too. Stepmother knows all about mother-in-law and told her no because she would hold it over our heads. She responded, I have been disrespected.
Oh, the humanity.
This is very insightful, son. Guess I won't be buying you the car I found for you. I'll also be bringing the kids Christmas presents to your house when the snow is gone. I don't care if you like it or not. By this time, we already had the car. Stepmother knew mother-in-law would ruin the surprise unless they got it to us ASAP. Husband responded, you mean the car father-in-law and stepmother-in-law gifted us? It's in the driveway. It's exactly why they told you that you couldn't be involved. Hold everything over my head. And if I want you at my home, you'll be invited. You're not invited, so do not show up to my home. We don't want to see you. I'm done, Mom.
Yes.
Wow. That is
Yes.
clear and strong.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't want to see
We
you.
don't want to see you around here, man.
There is no simpler way to say that.
No two ways around that, man.
Yeah, no sugarcoating it. Just like,
I
I
don't like you.
Yeah. She responded 4 more times, but neither of us bothered to read or reply. So, lovely friends of Just No Mother-in-Law, if she shows up, do I call the police? Is that considered trespassing? She does have a key to my home. Husband forgot his house key in her car when he took it to get the oil changed about 2 months ago, and she never gave it back. We'll be having the locks changed, but nobody will come out here to do it until the snow is gone. We live in the South and just got a crap ton of snow. I'm so tired of the BS surrounding this woman child. Also telling people that our son cries for her. He, in fact, does not. He knows that we're taking a break from Nana and why, as do my other children. A few days ago, when I told him stepmother was coming over, he thought I meant mother-in-law. They call her a variation of Nana too. And he got upset and said that he doesn't want to see her because she was awful to me and made me cry on Christmas. Oh my gosh. That is so sweet.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law also told people in her department at work that we have demanded she buy us a car and give us money. Thankfully, most of those people know husband, and stepmother was able to put that rumor to rest. She's been spreading crazy rumors all over our little town. And there is another update. Oh my goodness. Just No Mother-in-Law decided to show up. Well, I'm back to update you all on my crazy, toxic, dumpster diving, trash dumping, self-absorbed person I call mother-in-law again. Hello, my lovely friends of Reddit. Sorry, I've not updated it in a while. My last post was locked and I wasn't able to update you all there. I'm still figuring out how Reddit works. But on to the mother-in-law drama. On Tuesday of last week, husband was brought into the office at his job. The head manager explained that they've been getting complaints that mother-in-law has been pestering other coworkers. She harassed an 18-year-old in her department, and the girl recorded it, along with another incident of mother-in-law talking badly about us. Mother-in-law has also been bashing husband and me, so management wanted to know what was going on since husband isn't one to engage in drama or bring his personal life to work. Husband briefly explained what was happening. He was told that workers only get a few chances and mother-in-law may be terminated. One of the concerns brought to their attention was mother-in-law saying that she was going to come to our home when she knew that husband was asleep and knock my butt out as soon as I opened the door. Oh, wow.
So concerning.
He's threatening violence now.
So concerning. Call the police.
Yes, absolutely. But since husband hadn't started this or brought it to work, he was fine. He told them to do what they needed to do and thanked them for letting him know what she had been saying. Fast forward to Friday at 3 p.m. I was getting our youngest baby girl out of the bath when I heard noise outside of my porch. At first, I thought it could be a package being delivered, but the noise persisted. Our baby is under a year old, so I couldn't just leave her unattended. I put her in her crib and then heard a knock at the door. It was mother-in-law. Our oldest son saw it was her, hid under a blanket, and said, "Mommy, tell her to leave." I asked him to go to my bedroom where husband was sleeping. He works nights. And I took a deep breath, opened the door, giving her plenty of time to try and hit me if she desired. She, in fact, didn't hit me or even try. Mother-in-law, I brought the kids Christmas presents. Husband had some deliveries sent to mom's house so the kids wouldn't see them. Me. Okay. Mother-in-law scoffed. Well, aren't you going to let them come outside and get them and then let them see me? Me? No, I'm going to get my husband. Maybe he will want to deal with you. I'm not going to. She rolled her eyes. I shut and locked the door behind me. I woke my husband up and told him the situation. He was, of course, pissed off. It was a nice day, so we had the windows open. I'm sure she heard him because the next thing I heard was her slinging gravel with her tires and speeding out of there. She then sent brother-in-law a long rant about how we won't let her see the kids. She also claimed that she's certain I'm pregnant, but that we just don't want her to know, and that's why we haven't started talking to her. As if the status of my womb is any of her business. I'm not pregnant, though. Brother-in-law decided to go no contact with her. She's still talking crap about him and his wife behind their backs, and her talking about me was his last straw. Of course, him deciding to go to North Carolina is also my fault, as if I control him and his decision making. Also, we got our locks changed after my last post. As soon as the roads were clear enough to get to town, husband went to our local hardware store and got everything we needed to change each door. Last night when husband was at work, his manager came to him and told him that mother-in-law had given him money to give to husband. The manager handed the husband $20. So he took that money and bought his friend and coworker a few groceries since he's been struggling lately. Mother-in-law keeps finding new ways to text husband. It's weird. She just sends him links to random TikToks, calls herself a talker, and tells everyone she goes to TikTok University.
Okay.
Cringe. From what we hear, she claims she won't give up her stance and she's in the right. She will see our kids. She knows the husband needs her, and I'm keeping the husband away and controlling him. So I'm keeping my eyes on her from a distance. Brother-in-law and husband believe that she has relapsed on substances based on some of the things that she said to brother-in-law before he went to North Carolina. That which is crazy sober and insane on substances. There's also a couple more things, but I have to ask if husband wants me to talk about it since he doesn't really involve. Edit to add, husband doesn't mind if I tell y'all the other thing. So husband's had a doctor's appointment. An hour before his appointment, the office called us informing us that his insurance had suddenly lapsed and that we needed to give them a call. By the way, what you guys do is check out more episodes with full stories just like this one. Just go to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime.
Do it.
Doctor's orders. You gotta do it.
Keep the doctor away.
We called the insurance company. Without getting into specifics, mother-in-law is the reason that insurance lapsed. And we had to pay nearly $700 for my husband to see his doctor and get the medication that he has to have every day. I feel like that $20 was her way of trying to get in our good graces after we had to pay the $700. My husband texted her that day letting her know just how effed up this was. But $20 doesn't even compare to $700, mother-in-law. That's what we're saying. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to that.
Ain't
oh my
nothing.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
But that is the end of that story.
It is.
So we're going to jump into the next one. My mother-in-law went back on her word, so we're keeping her out of our wedding.
Classic mother-in-laws.
Always going back on their word.
I bet you she's going to show up to the wedding in white.
I wanted to share the story because when I told it in full to some friends, they got a big laugh and a cautionary tale. And we have made a tentative decision that some are seeing as too tough for our reasoning. By the way, this comes from Radiant Pop 2377, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. I want some objective opinions to try to support my future husband in making a choice. When I started dating my fiance, he warned me his mom was crazy. His words, not mine. But early on, she seemed pretty normal, if a bit immature at times. When we decided to move in together, she offered to rent us her house while she moved in with her kind of long-term boyfriend. We thought it might work out better than finding an apartment. I was a little hesitant, so we all sat down to discuss our concerns, making the space our own, rules for pop-ins, covering utilities, and maintenance, and what would happen if she sold the house. We put together a simple contract, signed it, and moved in. At first, things were fine, but after a few months, she started dropping by unannounced and randomly storing things in the house and garage. We could deal with it since it was her house. Then utility bills started arriving with final notice warnings, even though we'd agreed she'd handle them. We ended up paying hundreds to get them up to date to keep the peace. We slowly started talking about getting out of her house and finding a different rental not owned by family. Then, out of nowhere, she told us she'd be listing the house in 2 weeks. We were shocked, because part of our agreement was that the place was effectively ours for at least a year. My fiance told her she wasn't keeping her word, but she shrugged, saying, "That paper we signed doesn't mean anything. I got rid of it anyways." The paper we signed doesn't mean anything? What? Usually when you sign a piece of paper, it means a whole deal.
It means a big lot.
As they argued, I started searching for rentals. We both agreed it was time to move out and hopefully salvage some relationship with her. She kept coming over and told us to make everything back to how it was when she lived there. Even though a lot of our changes were improvements that could help her sell. A realtor came by, took some photos just on her phone, and a couple of days later, we got approved for a new place and began packing. Out of nowhere, she texted my fiance saying, "You can stay, but rent's going up $100. When he called, she admitted her realtor suggesting renting it instead of selling for various reasons, but it would take money to get it up to par to list it for rent to anyone but us and have other expenses as well. My fiance refused, which made her furious. She blamed it all on me, calling me a witch, controlling, brainwashing, and telling him to leave me while he still had the chance. He snapped and defended me, saying she was just jealous that I'm already everything she wants to be at 24. We moved up our move-in date to be out in 3 days. Over the last days, we've got every trace of us out of there, including all the renter-friendly changes and upgrades like better bathroom hardware. Yes, I even uninstalled faucets out of pettiness. Good. Though we didn't need them at the new place. Aside from a little paint that we had approved with her before doing, it looked exactly like it did when she lived there. The realtor returned with the photographer and told her the house would likely sit on the market longer and get lower offers because it didn't look as good as it had with our updates. Called again, yelling that we sabotaged her, demanding we redo everything we'd undone at her request, and claiming we owed her the rest of the year's utilities and rent. Since she discarded the contract, we technically didn't owe her anything, so my fiance said nope and hung up. She eventually sold the house for less than asking, using a mix of photos with our upgrades in them and the professional listing photos. We barely spoke to her since, and he has brought up the idea of not involving her in traditional mother of the groom roles in our wedding. I think that's probably smart. We're not getting married in a church and have some other things that are non-traditional, but I'm close with my dad and keeping those traditions like a father-daughter dance. He was going to have a dance with his mom and have her walk down the aisle with him when he entered. Now he's thinking about having his dad and brother, best man, walk down with him instead. My mom and dad will be walking with me. Instead of a dance with his mom, he's thinking of doing one with my mom or doing something unique with his dad and or brother. We're still planning. His parents have been divorced for almost his whole life, so his dad has chosen to not share an opinion on this and just go with whatever we decide. The way I see it, it's his mom and his decision. I'm okay with either choice he makes. And we'll put aside all of our differences for the sake of our day and the memories he could have with her if he decides that he wants those. But if he decides that she should be a guest instead, no skin off my nose, honestly. Either way, my mom and maid of honor know the entire situation and plan on running mother-in-law interference on the day to make sure that both me and my fiance don't have to stress out about her behavior. If at some point in the night she's gone, it likely means she's acted up to the point they punted her out, and so be it. We trust their judgment, and the day is about our future. My family is looking at this like his dad is. She's a grown but woman, and whatever my fiance decides are the consequences of her actions. They will support. A couple of his family members and some of our friends say we would be way too harsh to not involve her, and it will just be the nail in the coffin on the relationship with her when right now it is salvageable. I mean, but is it salvageable? I feel like some elements of it are salvageable, but it seems like she's just making a whole issue about everything.
Yeah, it's like the kind of thing where it's like even if you did put in work to try to fix it, there's just gonna be more problems that pop up.
I feel like inviting her to the wedding would be nice, but she doesn't have to be involved in.
Yeah.
Especially if you're just not comfortable with that. My fiance is struggling because at the end of the day, she is his mom. But not only did she go after me fiercely, it's not the first time they've had it out. I didn't provide all of the background, but just a small glimpse. He was paying a lot of her bills when he was roughly 16 to 20. Wow. Not because she couldn't work or anything, but because she was going out and partying regularly and would get let go for not showing up or just calling in sick all the time and losing a big chunk of pay thanks to partying. She's gotten better now, but they still have some issues. So would we be the a-holes if we didn't include her in a traditional way? And there is an update, but what do you think?
I think no. I think no. She's making a big deal out of this stuff and just like causing too many problems. Is she still gonna be involved?
She's still gonna be at the wedding.
Yeah, that's
just not gonna be doing
better.
Update. I wrote in about my mother-in-law drama after renting from her and how my fiance was considering not involving her in traditional mother of the groom roles in our upcoming wedding. Well, things escalated quickly. My fiance decided to invite his mother over for dinner at our new place to be honest with her about his reservations and set clear ground rules on what the relationship would look like if she wanted to be involved in the wedding and our future, which actually I think that's honestly a great way to go about it. It's it's like, hey, we were thinking about not having you in this wedding because of how you've treated us.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to, maybe change your minds.
Yeah, just being very honest, like, hey, this is actually your fault.
Yeah.
So if you want to fix it, then fix it.
He and I prepped dinner together, and when she arrived, we chatted briefly. We had agreed that I would let them start the conversation alone, so while the dish was finishing in the oven, I left them and went into my office. It only took a few minutes before I heard voices getting raised, but I kept myself out of it until everything went quiet about 5 minutes later. My fiance very calmly came up to my door. I could tell he was fuming inside, but he just said, she's not coming, and I'm not changing my mind.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, they had the conversation. He gave her the chance.
Yeah.
She was gone, and he and I ate dinner while watching our comfort show. Not much was said about it until we were getting ready for bed. He told me, I wasn't sure I wanted to tell you how everything went down, but I think I want you to know if you're okay with hearing it because it's not very nice. I didn't want him to bottle it up, and I have pretty thick skin, so I agreed. As we got into bed, he gave me a recap of the conversation. To sum it up and save a blow-by-blow, she had always hoped he would end things with me before we got engaged. When that didn't happen, she held out hope that he would leave me at the altar. She thinks I'm a skunk with an A, and the disappearing act were high school sweethearts and I make more than him, and that he should be with someone more like her, as in mother-in-law, as in his mother.
Oh no. Oh no.
When he told her she couldn't speak about me that way and that he didn't want her in the wedding or now even at the wedding, she said he would regret the marriage a little less if she were there, but it would still be the biggest regret of his life. He responded that his biggest regret was sacrificing so much of his own life to support his grown mother. She claimed that was his responsibility because she could have terminated him.
Oh wow.
His mother's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you've had the conversation. You've tried.
Yeah.
But you know what you guys could try and do? Listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there's a teeny bit left.
Do that.
Do that.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow. I'm glad that he made the decision,
Yeah.
put his foot down. You know,
Agreed.
she pushed him too far.
Did.
And it's just like, no, you don't need to be there. You don't need to be there at all, actually.
Yeah. I mean, when you've had, I think it's always important to have those conversations and have, talk it out before you go no contact if you can. And you did.
Yeah.
You had the conversation, you laid down the ground rules, and
Exactly.
you didn't want to follow them.
Exactly.
She then headed towards my office saying she would beat some sense into my butt if he wouldn't. And that's when you called the police. That was his final straw. He told her to leave and not contact either of us again. So we will be having a very non-traditional ceremony, and he's even considering some incognito security to make sure she doesn't try to show up. He's content with his decision and is seeing a therapist to help with some of these complex feelings. And that is the end of that story. But I think that is the way to go.
I agree. Good for him.
Good
Going
for
to
him.
therapy, taking care of himself.
Therapy night.
My cousin accused me of interfering with her life, so I skipped her wedding.
If I can't interfere with your life, I won't interfere with your wife.
For context, I'm Indian, and all my extended family on my mother's side are very close. Names have been changed. My cousin, Shayla, is getting married in a few weeks, and I've decided not to attend. Shayla is my third cousin, my mother's cousin's daughter. By the way, this comes from user The Panda Loves to Sleep. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, we lived in the same city growing up and had a sometimes close, sometimes distant relationship. We've never had a falling out such as this. No major altercations, but a lot of her behavior as we grew up bothered me. For example, both of us moved to the same city, Delhi, for our jobs after completing graduation. She's 5 years older than me. I was kind of excited to have family in the city I was moving to and asked her if we could live together. She said her father said no, and that he had asked her to stay with her friend. So I let it go and got an apartment on my own. Frankly, I don't hold a grudge over it since everyone has their own space requirements, and maybe living with a family member was just not her thing. A few years later, her engagement was announced. In India, engagement ceremonies are also full-blown family events, not just a moment between the couple. I was on leave from work at the time and happened to be in our hometown where the ceremony was to take place. I went to her house and participated in all the preparations, wrapping gifts, applying henna on all my auntie's palms, even creating an engagement ring tray from scratch and decorating it. I was very excited, as she's the only older sister figure I have per se. On the day of the engagement, I stayed by her side, fixing her dress, her hair, etc. It was a pretty ceremony. Afterwards, she posted pictures on Instagram, and when I checked the post, she had not posted a single picture with me. No tagged photos.
Not one. She hates you.
A crime. I was being a little cheeky, but truly, I'd be like, are we good?
Yeah, it's like if I didn't post any photos of Dakota on the Columbia trip.
So I'll admit I felt a little bad. She had pictures with her friends and other cousins, but not me. I still didn't say anything because I felt I was just being petty. It was just a post after all. A few months later, unfortunately, the engagement broke off because he cheated, and we were all very disheartened. She had actually left her job in Delhi to prepare for this wedding. Once the dust settled a few months later, she took up another job and came back. This time she contacted me and asked if she could stay with me. I joyously agreed, but I had an apartment with only one bedroom, and it was quite small. So we decided to look for another apartment that would be more comfortable for 2 people. This was in February 2023, and it took us about 3 weeks to hunt for a new place. But we didn't like anything, and we couldn't decide on one. I even took a few days off work to go apartment hunting with her, and during this time, we were sharing my small space. So we became close again. We shared secrets and had late-night conversations. It was fun. Girl time, talking about boys. Ooh. Unfortunately, around the same time, my grandmother fell really sick, and I had to visit her in my hometown. I left the keys to my apartment with Shayla and went home. My grandmother passed away, so I was gone longer than planned. When I came back, Shayla told me she had put down a deposit on an apartment. It was a 1-bedroom set, and she had already moved into it by the time I returned.
Whoa. I'm sorry, wait. Like, you guys had planned to live together. You were looking at places to live together, and then you go and take care of your ailing grandmother, and then she's like, I already moved into a new place.
Timeline really is important here, and clearness of communication is important here.
That's a weird move.
I think no one would be wrong here if the friend is like, hey, like, I can't wait for this timeline. Like, I'm going to have to find something else. Or
if she had said that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, we have to communicate things clearly. Can't just leave people in the lurch, hang them out to dry. We have a friend that had that done to them, me and Keon, and they're thriving right now.
So, Pete, you're going to be thriving.
I felt like my time was wasted and even found some things missing from my apartment, like a beautiful moon lamp. Again, no confrontation.
What do you mean? I'd be like, hey, did you take my moon lamp?
She's like, we were going to steal the moon.
That's really weird, and you should confront her about that. I'm sorry, she left. That feels especially weird for you to come back. She's gone. Some of your furniture is gone, and then she's like, yeah, I moved out.
It was all a play for the moon lamp.
She freaking stole from you.
Gotta call that out immediately. Cut to a year later. She fell in love with a guy and posted a lot of pictures with him on Instagram. I saw those and asked her about little details as I was happy she had moved on from her heartbreak. She told me he was a guy from her office, and that's where they met and fell for each other. I was happy for her. A few months later, her mother announced to the whole family that she was getting married again, now to this guy. Mind you, it is a love marriage, which is a very sensitive subject in our family.
As opposed to like an arranged marriage. That's about my understanding.
I think I agree. Kudos to her for actually being able to convince her parents. When I found out about the wedding from my mother, in my excitement, I let it slip that I had seen his pictures. My mom said that another cousin, male, had also seen the pictures and mentioned them before the news of the wedding had even broken out. My mom asked to see them too, and since the wedding was already happening and others had spoken about seeing the pictures on her Instagram feed, I didn't think it needed to be a secret anymore. A few days later, she sent me a very aggressive text asking if I had shown his pictures to anyone.
Oh, come on. I'm sorry. If you post pictures of yourself on your Instagram,
secret husband.
Unless you're being followed only by like your 3 closest friends and you say, don't share this with anyone. Like, if you're posting them on Instagram, it's public.
He's a vampire. Have you been showing people pictures of an empty void with no one there saying that it's my husband?
You've given away.
You go, no? Okay, good. Because that would be ridiculous. I'm not marrying a vampire office husband.
I'm the only one in those pictures.
Nothing to see here. She also said, don't you dare lie. I know the truth. I confessed and said, yeah. After I got the news of the wedding, I showed them to my mom. She got mad at me, saying it was private.
Then why did you put it on Instagram, you dummy? If you wanted it private, then you should have texted those pictures and said, keep these private.
I apologized to her, saying that I didn't mean any harm by it. She outright said that she didn't want anyone interfering in her life. The use of that word was hurtful. I said I wasn't interfering in any way and genuinely didn't see any harm in showing a few pictures of the groom-to-be, which she herself had posted on Instagram, to my mother. She said it got her into trouble and blamed me for it.
How is that OP's fault?
Your husband's existence is getting you into trouble. That's beyond OP's realm of expertise.
You got in trouble for potentially, it seems, posting something on a public forum. OP didn't make that decision. People were going to find out regardless if OP was the messenger or not.
I would get it if it was more like you're exposing the location of my secret wedding, but that's literally not what's happening. Anyway, back to it. I'll admit I got mad, thinking that if she wanted so much privacy, she shouldn't have posted the pictures in the first place. All the cousins had seen the pictures. Some had even met the guy. Yet out of all of them, I was the one being called out.
She just doesn't like you, I think.
Maybe she might have beef with you. Maybe her new vampire husband made some comments about, what's your cousin's blood type?
And she's trying to save you. Trying to save you from her vampire husband. Keep you away.
I don't see the harm in showing pictures of the groom-to-be, which she herself had posted already to someone. I don't know what or how much trouble she got into. She never told me. I still feel she could have been less rude about it or tried to talk afterward if she reacted in the heat of the moment. I admit it wasn't up to me to show the pictures to everyone, and in my defense, I shared them only with my mom. I asked her to, and she swears she never said a word to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, like, we already know that other people, other cousins were talking about it and saw those pictures. So, you know, it probably was shared with the cousin's parents by someone else. And OP just got in trouble for it.
Being mad at OP instead of being mad at the people who are mad at her.
I think that she's just scapegoating OP.
Be mad at the people who are mad that your husband exists and cares about you. I don't know what word got out or from where. Since my mother swears she never said anything, I'm not going to doubt her. I genuinely apologized to Shayla when she confronted me, yet she has given me radio silence in return. So I've decided not to attend their wedding. If she thinks I'm interfering in her life, then I shouldn't be a part of her life event either. Neither of us had tried to contact the other since. In my head, I've gone no contact with her. But since our families are very close, my aunties and other cousins are saying I should come to the wedding and not hold a grudge. But I feel like I'm done. I don't want to keep a relationship with her, and I've put my foot down about not attending the wedding. Would I be the a-hole? And by the way, you certainly couldn't ever possibly be the a-hole if you listen to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcast, wherever you get podcasts, search OK Storytime, and there you will find the treasure chest. And it's chock full of stories. So we do have a little more story left. Before we get into it, would they be the a-hole for not going?
No, I don't think so. It seems like you have already apologized. You've already made those attempts to reconcile, and she's just ignoring you. It seems like you would not be welcome at this wedding. She's just blaming you for everything. That's not your fault at all. I don't know why she's reacting this way to you, but she's definitely scapegoating you.
I think it's a bit of a everyone's overreacting situation. Because it's like OP's friend is probably just like stressed out because it's like a non-arranged thing. Who knows where she's actually getting it from. And it's like, depending on how long or how valuable the friendship is to you, that's something that you could be like, how much you value your relationship with your third cousin here. And if it's like, I don't really care, sure, like, go no contact, don't go. But it's like, by not going, you're probably now opening up another can of worms that's going to lead to more drama in your life. In our culture, it is not common to send out invitations to parents and children separately. If there's a wedding in the family, it's implied that everyone will go, especially if it's close family. And since my mother and her mother are very close, there's no need for a formal invitation for my family to attend. Having said that, not once did she even mention that I should attend. She just lashed out on me and went radio silence since then. I'm not expecting a formal invitation, but there was literally no word from her end that would indicate that she wants me there. I agree, there's active beef here, but big family get-together event, Indian engagement, wedding, whatever, just go. Save yourself the months, potentially years of this thing continuing on and being a headache in your ear.
I think you have to find out what will be more of a headache for you and choose that option.
Let's finish this story. So we have some comments. Comment number 1, short answer, it's an invitation, not a summons. You don't have to attend. OP said that's exactly what I keep telling myself. The problem is I didn't make up any work-related excuse to not go. That would have been acceptable. I just said I won't go. I don't go where I'm not heartily invited, and that led to people saying that I'm being petty. Maybe I should have just made an excuse. Comment 2 says, I'm just guessing here, but maybe your cousin had made her Instagram private from her parents because she wasn't sure how they would react to a love match. Probably one of your other cousins let it slip to her parents, and she decided to dump it on you. OP does say maybe. If she talked about it, like actually had a conversation, we could get to the bottom of it, but she just lashed out, and that was that. And that is the end of that story. That is true. Could have been a private story.
Regardless, it's not OP's fault.
Guess what? Your parents are going to figure out who you're marrying when you get married at the wedding.
But that's the end of that story.
My in-laws ignored me while I'm caring for my husband's medical crisis.
Ignore them right back.
Why are you ignoring your son while he's
That's
sick?
messed up.
My ex and I started dating when I was 22, female, and he was 21. I met his family and they seemed nice, but the first meeting was at his great-grandmother's funeral. For some context, his family are all Catholics, Creasters, a combo of Christmas and Easter only attendance. I am not a Creaster. By the way, this comes from user Andra Allen 82, and if you want to submit your own story, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. This does not mean I was not raised religious. I was. My dad was the preacher at all the churches I went to growing up and as an adult. I went to Bible camp, Bible college, where I met my ex, served as a youth group supervisor on many trips, and made sure I cooked for any potluck for the church I went to. We attended 3 times a week. I no longer do this, but that's another trauma story. We get engaged. Through very frugal wedding planning, we didn't want to spend much, and I thought, hey, she had 3 boys, no girls, so why not pamper her for going up to the wedding too? My mom thought it was a great idea. We had her at final dress fitting, nail appointment, and massages leading up to the wedding. I figured it would make her feel like she had a daughter. It's all she ever wanted, but she had 3 boys. All grandkids are boys too. Everything seemed fine, and it was for a while, but there would be little digs and passive-aggressive comments here and there. Is anyone else confused as to who OP is referencing right now?
The mother-in-law.
It's the mother-in-law. Okay,
Yes.
I couldn't tell if it was the mother-in-law or if it was the grandmother. Well, hopefully we'll get some clarity moving forward. However, I was a people pleaser. I let the comments go. I got on with his dad and the rest of his family, so cool, right? My ex ended up falling 20 plus feet off of a roof one afternoon and suffered a broken collarbone, a punctured lung, but more importantly, a traumatic brain injury and a stroke. Oh my God.
Oh, that's terrible.
I got called by the cops and they don't tell you what's wrong. They just say, meet us at the hospital. I thought it wasn't that serious, but I texted my mom and she Ubered immediately to meet me. We lived in New Jersey, my mom in New York, the in-laws in Michigan. I texted his family when I had a bit of news as to what happened to a barrage of texts from his mom. To be fair, she was freaked out, but I kept letting her know I'd let them know when I did. She kept blowing up my phone as they drove halfway across the country to get to us. Why would you drive? Just fly at that point. Take a flight.
Might be cheaper.
Take a flight.
Might be cheaper gas-wise.
I have this weird ability to stay super calm under stressful situations, but this was bothering me and I enlisted sister-in-law to help. Mother-in-law had also, against my wishes at the time, posted to Facebook that he'd fallen 300 feet and they never knew if he'd walk again or live.
Wait, okay, also just to clarify, they drive to go see him after he just had that horrible fall?
Yes.
That's
yes.
also, I didn't quite register that
makes
until
no
right
sense.
now. That's insane.
That's absurd.
Insane.
This post was made before I had any info from the doctors other than the fall from 20 feet, and they were assessing him. I was very clear on do not post info to Facebook until we have all of the info.
And also, you shouldn't be posting any info of someone without their consent.
Luckily, father-in-law shut her down soon after on the car ride. We make it through his surgery and go home with my mom, get to the house with the guest room set up for the in-laws. Mom lets me sleep. She was going to sleep in bed with me. I love her. She stays up and they never show up. They were told to come to our house. They got a hotel near the hospital. That's fine.
So
It's
this
her idea.
is so strange too, because I was thinking, oh, maybe their excuse was for the road trip was cost, but then to not, for the hotel.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense. So here's the thing. I was working full time and it was my insurance from work paying the bills. But I had taken those days off of work for another reason, so my paid time off was good for the next few days. However, I was in a play at the time. They canceled one show, but I needed some normalcy and my mom said to finish the run. There were 3 shows. So I did. It was 5 women wearing the same dress for those who will ask, and I was Georgianne. I guess this was mistake number 1. So we make it through the first surgery, several days, and next 3 weeks in ICU. I call every morning for an update and then text while at work to make sure they know what's going on. After work, they let me leave early to make afternoon/evening ICU visiting hours, by the way. I'd go sit with him. He was in a medically induced coma, but I thought it was important for him to know I was there. Luckily, he got a bed in a very awesome rehab facility when they could wake him up safely. When he was there, I was able to keep the same work schedule. His parents came to visit for the second time since the accident. Oh, I should mention, my parents came from New York City every weekend during this whole time. I offered the spare bedroom for the in-laws again, but mother-in-law decided on a hotel again. We had, and I still have, a small Boston, but he was never allowed in the spare room for reference. Oh, so I guess because of a dog?
Yeah, little Boston Terrier.
A little yapper. Mother-in-law complained the entire time how expensive everything was in New Jersey. I reminded her that they could use our spare room. My mom would sleep in the bed with me, and our bedroom was huge, so my dad would use an air mattress in the bedroom. I don't know if having one bathroom was a problem or what, but cue the next 3 weeks. Complete silence from mother-in-law. Literally nothing. Anything coming from his family came from the sister-in-law or father-in-law. Father-in-law apologized that she stopped communication. Again, anytime they visited, complaining at the cost of hotels.
You can complain about something if you've been offered a solution.
Yeah.
And you keep not taking it.
It's like you get
shut up.
You get hit in the head and you're like, oh, that sucks. Someone's like, you could wear this helmet. You're like, get it. No.
I don't wanna wear that helmet.
That looks ugly.
Dun. Oh, my head. Same spot.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
All the while, she was never speaking to me face to face and disregarding my request to be there when they saw my ex because I knew how to ask the nurses for anything or interpret his speech at the time. If you've ever known a stroke victim, you know speech can be difficult at first. I wasn't trying to be controlling. I wanted them there to see him, but he regressed some of his progress, and I get it that as a mom, she was concerned. But I was the one there with the physical therapists and nurses every day. I kept saying we had a very clean bed in our house. The dog was never allowed in that room, and my parents never used it. The sheets and bedding were washed. No, she didn't want to put me out, and I have never reined in my facial subtitles so hard. I found out later that the reason she stopped talking to me was because, quote, she did it wrong. I'm sorry, I made life-saving decisions and paid for everything with my money and insurance and spent most evenings until I was removed from his bedside. But because I didn't wear a full-on Victorian black funeral dress and sit by his bedside 24/7, I did it wrong. I needed to finish that play and still work every day and keep my sanity. Plus, ICU does not let you stay the entire day. Don't be hard on yourself if you are going through something crummy and you need to get a bit of normalcy back, FYI. When he did come home, they came again. And instead of apologizing to me verbally, she coldly handed me a very small cinnamon apple jar candle. I'm sorry. They're apologizing with a bad Hallmark
She's
candle.
like, here's a candle, I bought it.
And like doesn't even look at you.
That's not Bath and Body Works.
I don't know. I didn't even smell it.
Honestly, someone gave it to me and I'm regifting
I'm
it.
regifting this candle
It's
to you.
been in my closet for 2 years.
And she knew at this point I did not love that scent. I love mahogany and cedarwood and more of like manly scents.
Oh,
So
so
she
she likes
went out
mahogany
of her
teak
way.
wood.
Yeah,
She
she's like,
went
I
out
know,
of her way to get you a
I know
scent
that you
that you
hate this
hate.
candle. Every Easter, she gave me white chocolate while knowing that I hate that and love dark chocolate instead. So, sister-in-law came to my defense a few times when mother-in-law would secretly complain behind my back, and she got crap from her as well. Father-in-law said she needed to apologize to me in person with big girl words and never did.
She can't do it. She can't do it. Her pride is too large.
She's just a child
She's a
in
child
a
at
grown
heart.
woman's body.
Mm-hmm.
I blocked her and my ex when the divorce happened. Pretty sure he was cheating. Wow, you just glazed right over that one.
Whoa.
Okay, so I've never gotten my apology, and I've talked through it in therapy and just don't care anymore. Also, if someone was ever wronged in her eyes, the dookie was talked about that person. Sister-in-law was bullied into not hosting Christmas Eve one year because that's not how we do it. It must be here. Here's some more extra info. Okay, going into why they are now exes.
Finally, I needed that information. I know it was only 2 sentences later, but finally.
He is an ex because in the years after the coma situation, he decided he needed to find someone to, quote, finally make him happy. My mom and I think that he was cheating already. Oh well, I'm happier now, and he was getting mentally and emotionally abusive. I was getting more afraid that it was going to get physical. Yeah, you know what? Good riddance.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. Get rid of this guy. And you know what? You can get rid of not having full episodes of stories like this in your ears. And all you have to do is go to iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts and search OK Storytime, wherever you listen to podcasts. And you will have the entire archive of
So much.
1,200 hours to listen to at your leisure.
Ring,
and
ring.
we highly suggest you do it.
It's us. Pick up the phone.
We have a little bit left. Let's finish it off. Here's a little more info. During the ex's hospitalization and rehab, it came out that his little brother was cheating, got his side piece pregnant, and then wasn't paying the mortgage or car payments. Oh my God. Little bro's falling apart. Mother-in-law stood beside him, took little bro and the side piece in, bought him a car, and then cried to sister-in-law of the twin, little bro's now ex-wife, that when the divorce happened, she was losing the only daughter she ever loved. Okay, I don't even understand fully what was just said. All I know is that you don't say that. That's a terrible thing to say.
Wait, did she say that about OP or about the other brothers?
Cried
partner?
to sister-in-law of the twin, little brother's now ex-wife, that when the divorce happened, she was losing the only daughter she ever loved. So she told her own daughter that she doesn't love her. Just wild. Why would you do that?
OP's
Why are
getting
you
1, 2,
saying
1,
that?
What are
2,
you
1,
doing?
2. She's getting
Dang,
the combo
man.
breaker on.
Father-in-law told mother-in-law to apologize to us gals, but it never happened. And again, I do not GAF. I am so much better off without her in my life. Facts.
Yeah, man.
And that is the end
Good riddance
of that story.
Good riddance to her.
Good
she's,
riddance.
She's useless, man.
Good
I wouldn't even
riddance.
want to hear her name again. Don't ever bring her up to
Mhm.
me.
I wouldn't spit on her if she was on fire.
Yeah, but
Is that
Just-
too much?
no, it just has a context now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that either.
I wouldn't do either. But that's the end of that story.
My sister-in-law insulted my wife, so I taught her a lesson.
You insult my wife?
I'll get ya. Throwaway because my wife and her sister have my mane. My wife, Ava, female 28, and I, male 30, just had our first set of kids. A pair of twin boys. We had met and dated through college, and after graduation got married in a simple ceremony. My wife is a nurse, and I'm an engineer. By the way, this comes from user Significant Fudge 4137, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My wife is the quiet type, especially in large social gatherings, and very petite. I think that will be important later. Honestly, I'm not much different, and that's how we hit it off, because our friend groups dragged us to a party we didn't really want to be at. That said, one-on-one with a patient, she is very, very warm and all smiles. We tried for over a year to get pregnant. Swimmers were not doing their job. So we were thrilled to become parents, and finding out it was twins was even better. My wife's sister, female 25, on the other hand, is a piece of work. She relies on guys to fund her lifestyle and jumps from guy to guy or scams them online. If I had proof of the catfishing or the scams, I would report it. She has no education past high school. She's trying to become an Instagram influencer, but only has about 100 followers. She's constantly trying to make it rich quick and still lives with their parents. No hate on this part. It's just showing how financially irresponsible she is. She buys designer everything and eats out all the time. We waited until the boys were a few weeks before we let anyone come over. My wife had to recover, and she just wanted to bond with our boys uninterrupted, and I'd do anything for her. I had to beat my mom back with a stick, not literally, but it was worth the peace. I wanted only one set of family at a time, so we didn't get overwhelmed and suggested her parents come first. Her parents brought her sister. Now, up to this point, her sister had been super interested in the pregnancy and helped throw the baby shower. She would drop off my wife snacks and things if she mentioned a craving. Overall, it seemed like a turning point for them because before the pregnancy, their relationship had been strained. Childhood competition, fighting over who dated first, etc. I went to the kitchen to make lunch while they sat and chatted. Her sister came in to help, I thought. She set up plates and things and started asking about the labor, the last couple of weeks, all that jazz. I thought she was just trying to let me vent or find more ways to be helpful, but I told her everything was going pretty smoothly. She made the comment, "Oh, that's too bad she's ruined now. I heard she got ripped from her V to her A. That won't be a pleasure to look at."
I'm sorry, what?
Sister
She just had
is
a
very
baby?
bitter sister.
You're a baby and you're going to comment on her? Why
Like-
don't you mind your business?
Yeah, it's like, oh, congratulations. It's a shame that her body is ruined forever and she's disgusting and you're married to
Oh,
her.
your personality is going
It's
to be
like,
ruined
why are
forever.
you like this. It is true that there was some tearing, but considering her size and the size of the boys, I don't think it's too uncommon. I just looked at her and asked why she would say something so disrespectful about her sister. She told me it's just the truth and that I would realize ugly scars down there would be a total turn off. She then leaned across the table and did that thing girls do to make their front airbags look bigger by crossing her arms under them and squeezing and said, I know you only really wanted her as a mother because of the nursing thing.
Oh, Lord. And now she's flirting with him. No, I want to be married to your sister, not you.
She's out of the house. If I'm husband, hey, you're no longer welcome here. You have to leave, actually.
Exactly.
Immediately. I'm not
say,
entertaining
"Excuse me?"
this.
Bye.
Not entertaining this for 5 seconds. It's absurd. And then she went on about how much happier I would be with someone more on my level. I told her in no uncertain terms that she wasn't anywhere near my level and she could forget ever reaching my wife's level. I told her that being a swindler and not respecting herself online and to guys didn't make her this hot and attractive thing that she thinks she is. It's actually sad to watch because everyone knows she can do so much better and would be great at whatever she puts herself to, but she chooses the disappearing acts who would pay for her photos instead. I told her my wife worked until 8 months while pregnant with twins, how she does volunteer work for the animal shelter, how she still fusses over me even though we now have the boys, and how just amazing I really think she is. I told her she could never even scratch at the level of my wife, so to take her weirdness out of my house. And I just walked her out. Thank you, OP. For God's sakes, thank you. Of so many stories we hear where they
I
don't
didn't wanna
get
say
walked
anything.
out of the
Yeah,
house.
Walk out.
You just
she
go,
insulted your wife. Out of there.
It's crazy you said
Bye.
that because now you're going to have to say it outside.
Yeah, say it to the wind.
I pulled the parents aside and explained what happened and then sent them the kitchen video of it because we have indoor security cameras in the common areas for security. Kitchen, facing the back door, living room. They were livid, but at me, not her. They stormed out for disrespecting their younger daughter in a way that made her cry.
Oh my God. And then I would
And-
say, okay, well, she disrespected my wife
Yeah.
and that's my priority.
And
so.
now suddenly all of the behavior makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Because her parents have failed her. After showing my wife, she thought I was a little harsh in shutting her down, but was so thankful I made her leave and stood up for her. My sister-in-law and her parents are demanding an apology, but I'm not going to. Am I the a-hole?
No, you're standing up for your wife.
Defending your wife.
Defending your wife.
Defending
ain't
your
a
wife.
crime.
Defending your wife. Immediately defending your wife.
Immediately.
That's what we should all do.
Defend your wife.
Defend your wife. Comment 1, I apologize that sister-in-law is a lazy, selfish, money-hungry man-eating trollop who thinks trying to seduce the husband of her sister who just gave birth. OP said yes. Her propositioning OP is sick as F. I suggest making a small clip of that and sending it to the parents anytime they attempt to get an apology. Number 2, I have a cousin who's like sister-in-law. People like her are never happy and get bitter and jealous of anyone who's doing any better than they are. Even if it means that the person is simply happier with their lives than they are, it's pretty horrendous, honestly. I'd tell OP not to apologize. She deserves exactly what she's got. Honestly, I'd have nothing to do with her if I was OP or his wife. Any sister that could try it on with her sister's husband isn't worth having a relationship with. I'm confuzzled, kerfuffled, bamboozled. Your in-laws are mad at you for what? Shutting down a Hail Mary come on from their failure to launch daughter while actively cooing over their new grandson in their other daughter's, your wife's house?
It's complicated and it still makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just, you're not the a-hole. All right,
No.
we're just going to leave it at that. I did not expect this kind of response. I've tried to keep up with the comments, but I immediately started on the issues addressed by the first few comments, as well as the immediate fallout. I want to thank everyone who took the time to respond and give me great ideas for how to respond to the demands for apologies. This warmth and support made me feel like I did something right. A few things to touch on before the update. I saw a few reoccurring questions in my DMs and comments. Yes, my wife does animal shelter work. I am very allergic to cats, and she has a deep fear of dogs. I've suggested birds or rabbits, but she says there's special care for them and worries we won't do it well. I did not mean to slut shame my sister-in-law, but I guess that's how it came across. I just thought it was laughable that she wanted to try anything with me, of all people, when I know the games she plays with guys. She'll scam older men out of gift cards online and string them along with pictures so they keep giving her money. She never meets up with them, despite all the promises to do so. I work from home and make a very decent living. That said, because of my wife's direction, we have bought a house, put money into savings, and paid off almost all of our student loans. I think sister-in-law wants what we have. Small weekend getaways, a basement gym, and a small flower garden in the front. We aren't living it up, but it's better than her bedroom at her parents'. My wife doesn't usually creep on my Reddit, but she listens to the Am I the A-hole subreddit from this one guy, so hospital. My friend suggested here. I doubt she knows this spot. Keeping the family away for a couple weeks was not a power trip. They all met them at the hospital. She wanted time to recover and spend time with the babies without having to play host, keep the house clean with extra people, and neglect her own needs. They are also her first kids, so this has been a lot for her. If you think wanting space to heal and bond is a power trip, you need some reflection. Is your family so toxic that they wouldn't let you rest after something as huge as childbirth? I think my wife has a great shiny spine. Tends to bite, not literally. She has been having a lot of emotional issues since the birth, so I think she was numb to what happened. It might be shock, but I did find her crying about it that night, and here comes the update. Ooh-wee. After they left, I took a couple of hours before posting because I felt I made my wife upset, and I hate doing that. Apparently, in that time, my wife and I were blocked from my sister-in-law's social media, and I was blocked by her parents. By the time I posted, I missed like 40-some calls and messages. I assumed it was her parents still bugging about the apology or her texting to call me names. I went downstairs to find my wife in tears because someone had the gall to be screaming down the phone at her. It was her uncle. I took the phone, shouted him down until he explained what he heard. Apparently, sister-in-law immediately went around claiming I was a disgusting pig who touched her inappropriately and said all the terrible things she had said to me. The uncle was pissed at my wife for defending me. I cut the call and sent the video. I tried to check her accounts and found I was blocked. My wife tried and found she was blocked. I checked my phone and all the ignored noise was various family members on her side. I didn't bother calling them. I just sent the video to each and every one of them, then posted it to all of my accounts and tagged her and her parents. I used my wife's phone to post it to her parents' account with her permission. I sat down with my wife to ask what she wanted to do, but she just started crying. Eventually, she said she hated them and started to cry even more. Clearly, she wasn't in a good headspace to make decisions that affected anything long term, so I suggested we just go no contact temporarily and after some time discuss if we make it permanent or not, and she agreed. I suggested therapy, thank you everyone, because I would not have thought about this myself. She was hesitant, but after a bit of pushing, she agreed. I didn't bully her about it, I just pointed out this was all terrible and that she went through so much and that while I can listen and snuggle her, I'm not unbiased and I don't have all the tools a therapist would. She doesn't seem depressed, but all the crying is getting to me. I hate seeing her like this. I asked that we change the locks and add a few more cameras outside, and she agreed. I asked if she wanted me to tell my parents they can't have a key or need to wait a few more days to visit, but she said they can come and have a key. My mom and wife don't always see eye to eye, but tend to team up against me. The noise died down by dinner time, but there were almost no apologies. A few cousins apologized to my wife and her aunt. I told our friends what happened, and they brought over my wife's favorite dinner and my favorite snacks. Her BFF stayed the night. My one friend suggested getting a lawyer involved for the attempt at slander. He knows a guy, and I now have a meeting with him. I didn't tell my wife. I just want to see what the options are. She needs some rest before we really do anything. My parents are now over, and I slipped away for the update. My mother offered to stay for a few days to cook and clean, and I think my wife might accept it. She showed us how to swaddle the boys and gave us all these warnings against juice in bottles at bedtime when they were older because it could rot their teeth. It started a whole conversation about no cereal in milk bottles because of choking hazards and other things. I think the baby talk has taken her mind off things. Her BFF has been playing a weird mix of guard dog and mama bear to my wife, and I'm glad she has the support. The BFF checks and screens the calls or messages before letting my wife see anything, and if it's terrible, she has permission to send the video, and this is all at my wife's request. She doesn't want to face hate from her family right now. I managed to get screenshots of the post from friends. I had these same friends creep their profiles this morning, and the posts have been removed. Apparently, it turned into a bloodbath in the comments, going from support to outrage at being lied to. We got a few more apologies, and these sounded sincere, and they admitted they were too ashamed to talk to us yesterday after the video was sent. But by the way, I will never be ashamed of you listening to full episodes with stories like this on iHeartRadio and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you get podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime, and there you can listen to all of the stories, all of the time. There's a little bit more story here.
I mean, I think OP handled it really well. I think that he protected his wife. I think that who cares if the rest of the family is like, well, you were mean to her. Like,
it's like, dude, she literally, there's footage. I have footage of this woman trying to home wreck us very unsuccessfully and disparaging my wife, your daughter. I've still banned the rest of her family from visiting until further notice. It is info diet time for them as well, until we know who won't feed pictures or info to to those 3 horrible people. My wife blocked your sister this morning from her phone, but I'm leaving them unblocked. So if they try anything, I have proof. And I think that's it. It's unpleasant. I knew they favored sister-in-law, but didn't realize that it was this much. I'm going to help my wife find a therapist in the next few days. Any questions, I will try to answer. And that is the end.
My mother-in-law has made our lives miserable for years. We finally cut her off.
Cut it out.
I've been trying to write the story for like a year. By the way, this comes from eitherpick4961. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, timeline 12/20/21. My husband and I get engaged. 6/20/22. Mother-in-law is crying in our kitchen over a few glasses of wine that she isn't included in the planning of our wedding.
Poor thing.
Husband and I planned our own with no help from anyone. We're in our 30s. We know what we wanted. 8/20/22. Mother-in-law wants to plan a huge, extravagant wedding shower, but my family tradition is that my aunt throws a small one for the women in our family. Mother-in-law is mad. My cousin also throws me a pizza and adult soda friends shower. Mother-in-law is fuming. Mother-in-law throws her own shower for her side of the family, but is mad she wasn't invited to the other showers. 8/20/22. Mother-in-law says she isn't attending our wedding if her sister is invited. My husband's aunt, who we are close with, and her son, our cousin, is standing up. We tell her, fine then, don't come. She digs in, and then aunt ends up passing away of an aneurysm. Like 2 months before our wedding, she's off the hook.
Oh my gosh.
That's a terrible way to be off the hook.
That's crazy.
I can't imagine being like, oh, well, now I can go to the wedding
Yeah.
because my sister's gone. Yippee.
That's wild.
11/20/22. Our wedding is around the corner. I asked mother-in-law if she wanted to come over with my bridesmaids to get her hair and makeup done. Mother-in-law accepts and then gets mad that I didn't give her the time slot she wanted. I gave her the last one since she was driving from out of state and we were taking pics before the wedding, so I needed to get my girls out. She then says she won't be getting hair and makeup done with us. Then accuses me of not inviting her over before the wedding to hang out. Then she decides to dress like she's attending a funeral to our wedding. Dress like $1 million to sister-in-law's wedding. LOL. Also tried to wear white to sister-in-law's wedding, if that paints the picture any brighter.
Of course.
Yikes. At least, you know, I'd take funeral over wears white to the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's like, you can wear black dresses to weddings.
You can wear black.
I wore a black dress to a wedding.
It could be fun if she just went like full classic funeral
Yeah,
thing.
she's
like,
got like the large hat
And
and
the
like
veil.
the veil.
yeah. And just tissues along
Yeah,
the way.
she's like,
just
"Oh,
crying the
oh."
whole entire time.
12/20/22 to 10/20/23. Fairly quiet for us, but she has drama with other family. 10/20/23. We announce our pregnancy to family. Mother-in-law acts less than enthused. Never really asks about it. Never asks how we're doing. Radio silence. 12/20/23. Mother-in-law attempts to lift my shirt at Christmas and touch my belly because her grandbaby's in there.
What?
No.
What?
I'd be like, no.
Touching the belly is like enough, but lifting the shirt, and
lifting
touching
the
belly?
shirt to touch the belly,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Even worse. I was a very hands-off person and private about my body and pregnancy till the end when I couldn't hide it. I also had an antenatal depression in the first and early second trimester, so I was struggling. Note: mother-in-law is always invited to my family's side for holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, etc. 2024. My mom, sister, and cousins throw my baby shower. My sister asks mother-in-law if she's coming. She RSVPs yes, but then a week or so later, she RSVPs no because she had a convo with my husband about how mad she is that nobody asked her to plan a shower. What is with this girl and planning showers? She's like, I have to plan all of them.
Yeah.
No one else can plan these showers.
Never, never, never.
Mother-in-law does not work and lives in a different state. That's why she needs to plan these showers. She's like, I don't have anything else to do.
I'm bored.
I'm bored. Let me plan
in.
your showers. I'll do any type of shower. Engagement, wedding,
Regular.
just a regular shower. I do excellent bubble baths. Mother-in-law planned our wedding shower with their ex-husband's, my father-in-law's money. 3/24. Mother-in-law allegedly left a gift at father-in-law's house for us after she didn't attend our shower. We attempted to call her to say thank you. She didn't answer, just to find out later she was at my sister-in-law's and purposely didn't answer, then bragged to sister-in-law about it. Why are you playing coy? They're trying to thank you for your gift. And you're like, well, I didn't answer. They want me so bad. I wrote her a thank you card for the items and said our baby was going to be the best dressed on the block and how excited we were to wear these clothes.
Aw.
Some included mommy and daddy stuff. And then 3/20/24, mother-in-law sends the thank you card back. The card is addressed to my husband and myself using my maiden name. She crosses off the word mom that we wrote and then wrote a nasty message on the inside cover of the card. She must have regretted it later because she blacked everything out in permanent marker, making it illegible.
What?
Me, being the FBI agent that I am, rubbed the blackout side to reveal the message. She said something along the lines of, I did not send you those clothes. You must be mistaken, and signed her name. 3/20/24. Our son is born and our entire family meets him except her. She doesn't reach out. All she does is respond to a text in the family group chat that our son has arrived with. Beautiful baby. 6/20/24. Husband tells mother-in-law she will be able to meet him after she clears the air with us. Meet the baby, presumably. 7/20/24. We baptize her son and she's mad she wasn't invited. Literally sobbing and screaming according to the family. Husband and I decide that his baptism is an inappropriate time for her to meet him because she has been very public about how she treated us, and her showing up would take away from his day. I mean, yeah, she's not tried to be around him at all before this. So.
Yeah. I'm still stuck on that card. That's crazy. She wrote some sort of like petty message on the card
and then blacked it out
and then sent it
Still
anyway.
sent it. It's like if you regretted what you wrote, you don't have to send it back. They weren't expecting you to return their thank you card.
It's like if you're texting someone and you make a typo and then you send it anyway and then like send another thing with the it's like you could have just fixed it while it was still sent.
Yeah, like oh no,
while
I
you were
made a
typing.
typo. You know what? But I do that sometimes.
I mean, I
sometimes
do
I'm like,
too. Yeah, I just like send it. But if you like really cared about like, I don't know, making a good impression or something like that, it's just like take a second.
But this is honestly, this is much worse. This is different than a text because it's like text
this is effort.
You had to get a stamp for that.
Yeah.
You had to pay money for that.
Oh yeah.
8/20/24. The day I go back to work, I am a teacher. She effing shows up at her home unannounced where my husband and son are. The audacity. I am on fire, fuming about the situation that she planned this. Husband and father-in-law didn't think it was maliciously planned, but it totally was. Dear husband and I decided to call her to attempt to clear the air and make it very clear that she cannot just show up. None of our family ever just drop in. During this phone call, she goes all the way back to the wedding, showers, etc., and plays the blame game. The last words I said to her were that her actions are indirectly impacting her grandson. She responds with, OP, you're an effing witch. And my husband hung up on her. That was the last we spoke. 12/20/24. We have husband's whole family over for Christmas Eve, including my whole family. Mother-in-law wasn't invited. My parents give gifts to all children who attend, so they got one for her other granddaughter. On Christmas Day, mother-in-law shows up at brother-in-law's house, granddaughters, to drop off gifts. Brother-in-law invites mother-in-law in. Mother-in-law informs brother-in-law she is not staying and that OP's parents should be her new grandparents. Tell granddaughter I'm passed away. This girl is crazy.
Crazy.
Imagine being so jealous of a family that you would intentionally hurt your granddaughter on Christmas. 2/20/24, granddaughter's 6th birthday. Mother-in-law isn't invited due to her Christmas behavior. Family tells us mother-in-law finds out and invites herself. Husband decides we will not go to the party because she will act like nothing happened and attempt to interact with us and our son without apologizing. We will never get an apology. I said, let's go because we cannot let her dictate our life. We did not go, and we feel as though we made the best decision for our family to keep our son and ourselves away from her, as much as we wanted to be there for our niece. By the way, you can be there for us by listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Just do it.
Just do it. But there is a little bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
With people like this, you just can't win.
You can't win.
They just exist in their own little worlds that unfortunately you have to deal with every now and then.
Yeah.
And that's just very frustrating.
Indeed it is.
Absolutely.
It's like she's just going to make a problem over everything.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to distance yourself from her.
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately. That's where we stand for now. She is truly the gift that keeps on giving. I will update as needed. Am I crazy? At this point, I don't want an apology. I literally never want to see her again. I never want her around my family or my son. She is not allowed to psychologically harm my son because she is mad at me or my husband. If it's up to me, it will never happen. And comment 1, has brother-in-law told told her that you and dear husband are attending. She may decide to skip, as last time she told you to tell your grandchild that she was passed away and called you a terrible name. If he has and she's risen from the passed away, ask him to have her come slightly later than you so you can visit family and bring a cupcake or so. Wish her happy birthday and leave to put your baby to bed before the wicked one shows up. Opie says, I have no idea if they told her that we were going to attend. She wasn't invited, and it was last Saturday, but they warned us that she invited herself. She indeed rose from the passed away. LOL. I wish we went because I wanted to be clear that we are united and she isn't dictating our life or relationship, and that she isn't welcome in our son's life until / if ever something changes / a sincere apology. Another reply says, you should have gone and let your mom babysit your baby while you were there if you were comfortable with that. I think she wanted to show up so she could see your baby. Imagine her reaction when she realizes her whole plan was for nothing and everything blew up in her face. Opie says, I know, so I thought of this too. Unfortunately, my father-in-law and other family members love to guilt trip by saying things like, I would really love to see both of my grandkids playing together. This drives me nuts. But also, they would understand if we didn't bring our son. My mom would 100% babysit for us and has done this for past events. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
But yeah, I think you just gotta go low contact with your mom.
Yeah, you just gotta get away from those people. You can't put in the effort with those people because it's just so exhausting.
Yeah.
Getting all of that craziness back. So just get away. At least you got another mom in the family that's normal.
Yeah,
it
you got a good mom. You got a good mom.
Yeah.
But that is the end of that story.
It is.
And the end of this episode.
Wow.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.